Hey guys, this is Joseph with my digital marketing journey, and today we're just going to do it. We're going to get right into it, and we're going to build a one-page scrolling custom WordPress website for your agency from scratch. There's so many reasons you want to use a one-page website. For one, it's going to be a lot quicker for you to build and easier for you to customize. Also, it's just a contemporary modern trend where you put everything that a client's going to want to see on one page. It's like a sales funnel. It makes them really easy to interact with you. If you're not going to get lost on an About Me page or a services page, we're just going to see what you do. It's going to be clear. It's going to look gorgeous. And then they're going to know if they want to do business with you or not and be able to reach out to you very, very easily. Now, I'm going to show you everything that you need today. We're going to show you how to get your domain, how to get your web hosting and what host to use, how to install WordPress from scratch, how to put in exactly the plugins you need with nothing extra, so we're not going to weigh down our website with unnecessary code. And also, we're going to build this on WordPress using some of the most powerful tools available. And at the end of this, you're going to know how to use the most popular, powerful website building platform on the internet. WordPress powers about a third of the internet. And when you look at small business websites, it's even more because it's open source. You can do anything with it. It's so affordable. And if you're using things like Wix or Squarespace or ClickFunnels, you're renting your website. You ever stop paying them? You know what happens. It just disappears. Shopify is the same thing. Once you understand WordPress, you have so much control over what's happening on your website, and you can just do whatever you want to it. You can move it wherever you want to, and no one's going to stop you. And also, in this video, you're not going to need to do any coding. I'm going to show you how to just use these tools to make your website look beautiful. Now, hey, look, there's a lot of WordPress tutorials out there, but a lot of them are just showing you how to throw up a template and then just customize it a little bit. I'm actually going to show you how to build a website and learn that skill. So by the end of this, not only are you going to have a beautiful website that makes your agency look so professional and sleek and powerful, but also you're going to get the confidence to know how to build websites for clients. So the next time you go into one of those client meetings and the client's like, yeah, we've been thinking about redoing our website. Do you know anyone? You'll be able to look them like square in the eye and be like, I can do that for you. Have you seen my website? It looks awesome. It gets me customers all the time. I'm going to do the exact same thing for you and make your website look awesome and have it get you customers all the time. So this is going to be fantastic, and I wanted to get right into it because there's so much to cover. So let's just hop in there, buckle down, get yourself some water, get ready to go on this adventure with me. And I'm going to start by showing you exactly what's going to be on your one-page website for your marketing agency.
All right, guys, so let's take a look at exactly what you're going to get on this website. Now, I want to let you know this isn't a template website. So many other tutorials out there are showing you how to just install a template. But that means that many people are using exactly the same template. I built this one from scratch specifically for marketing agencies because I've been a digital marketer for years. I've built other agencies' websites, and so I'm putting on here all of the most important, best features that you need for your agency website. This is applicable specifically to you. This isn't some general website. This is for marketers. So let's take a look at what we're going to get here. At the top, you're going to see we have multiple ways to make it very easy for people to get a hold of you. There's a click to call on mobile. That's especially important. We'll see that there's also a way they can email you with a click or look for Google directions for you. You can put your social icons up here as well. You'll notice that there's hover effects, so as people hover, the colors change. We have a special unique header here that we make custom, and I show you how to create a custom header, which is something you cannot do on most themes. You can't customize it as much as we've customized this. However, this is not going to take people to different pages. This header is actually going to scroll people around the website. So they can just click and they can scroll very easily to whatever it is that they want to see. Isn't that cool? All right, I'll show you how to put your logo up here. And then you'll notice as we scroll down, we have this sticky header. So this is staying here. The blue bar is going to disappear, but the rest will stay. So that makes it really easy for people to navigate. We have a beautiful hero image right here where we're showing this office background. You can pick whatever you want. I'll show you how to find pictures for free. And you'll notice that it's parallax, which means even as I scroll, that picture is staying in the same place. We're going to make this so it's very clear and SEO optimized. People will know and Google will know exactly what your website is about. There's a beautiful font choice here, beautiful color choice. You'll see that we have the animations on the buttons to encourage people to click on those and get started. Over here, you'll have an About Me section where you can put in a picture of yourself. You can say a little bit about your company. You'll notice that we have these very cool looking shape dividers with the angle here. This keeps it contemporary and modern in the web design. Also allows you to have some variation between sections. Right here, we're offering different services to our clients, and we're listing exactly what it is we offer. I'll show you how to find these icons for free, so no matter what services you offer, you'll be able to find something that's appropriate to match up there, because you do want icons. They look really cool. As we keep scrolling down, you'll see we have another parallax background here, how it's staying in place even as I move. You have a place where you can put your case studies here, so you can show the actual results that you're getting for companies, which is going to provide a lot of social proof for you, and it also just kind of convince people that they want to work with you. A place to put what your unique approach is, what kind of makes you stand out from other marketing agencies. We can put our actual service packages here. I know that this is a very big thing for a lot of people doing digital media, social media marketing, is that they like to have these packages. So this is very hard to create on your own if you've never done this before, especially with the different sizes here. Because you'll notice we're making this one pop out and we have a ribbon here so that people are encouraged to click on this. I'm going to show you how to create these from scratch. It's a really cool thing to be able to do. All right, again, we have those tilted shape dividers or those section dividers. We have a place for your testimonials, and here you'll be able to put in as many testimonials as you want. You can put in the actual testimonial, you can put in the person, the job title, pictures of them, or company logos, whatever you want to do. Again, we have that parallax background, and here we have a beautiful contact form. Make it really easy for people to contact you, put their name, their email, write you a message. They can also select what exactly they're looking for, and that's important because then when you have a follow-up call with them, you can start the conversation on exactly what they care about. And then you can also put in a phone field here or whatever you want to. Again, we have the animated Get Started button for them to submit that. At the bottom here, we're going to put a Google map. We're going to embed this, which helps with your SEO. And also, if you have a bunch of reviews, then it'll show up here, which is more social proof for you. A little bit of another place for you to put your contact information, some social icons, and a little more about your company. And then we have this footer at the bottom. You can make that whatever you want to. Now, one of the things that's very important about this is not only do we build this so it looks beautiful on a computer, you'll see when we get deeper into the tutorial that I'm actually going to show you how to do this on mobile as well and make it look perfect on a phone, because that's how most people are going to view it for you. So you're going to look perfect on a phone, so it'll be called mobile optimized, as well as on a desktop. All right, so let's get into how we actually make this thing.
So any website that's built on WordPress, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a domain, you're going to need website hosting, and then you'll need to install WordPress. Now, there's other tutorials on my channel where I've gone very deep into this. Or if you go to the easysmma.com website, you'll see where I have tutorials that walk through all of this stuff. And we do it step by step, just incredibly thoroughly. But we're trying to do a quicker video here. So a lot of you probably already have a domain. You might even already have web hosting. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. Let me just give you a quick 2 to 3 minute version. All right, so, and it's not hard. Don't worry, it's not hard. So you're going to get your domain through Namecheap. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get your web hosting through Namecheap, but you're going to get your domain through there. And I don't recommend you getting your domain through your web hosting company. Just get it through Namecheap, and then you'll find out later if you want to change web hosting companies, it's a lot easier if you don't have your domain with your web hosting company. So we're just getting our domain through namecheap.com. I'm going to go here. I'm going to type something in, and it's going to tell me if that domain's available. So I'm going to type in jimsmarketingcompany.com. And when I look here, I see, hey, this one's available. It says I could add it to cart. If it was something where it wasn't available, then it would have something different here. So it says add to cart. It's going to cost me $9. So that's pretty cheap. Now, if this wasn't available, I could just click different stuff here until I find something. Like here, this one isn't available. So, I would just put different stuff in here until I find the one that I like. And so we like Jim's Marketing Company.com, and it's available. So I'd click add to cart, and then I just view cart and I pay for it. Now what I'll tell you here is there's a couple things. Is that one, you don't need any extra goodies at all. They'll try to upsell you on various things. The only thing you want is what's called WhoisGuard. And it's completely free. It'll always be free. It renews for free. But what it does is it masks your personal information, your contact information, because you need to give them your contact information when you register a new domain, and you have to mask that so you don't have a bunch of spammers calling you and offering you different kinds of digital marketing services. It's actually kind of annoying when they do that. So you get the WhoisGuard, but besides that, that's all that you need to do as far as the extras go. And like I said, it's free. So for $9, we're getting our domain. We'll click View Cart. We'll go through and we'll pay for everything. Now, I'm going to talk about web hosting for a second, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you about something you need to do at Namecheap. So for web hosting, click the link in the description for this video. We're going to go through A2 hosting. I don't want you going and researching a ton of different companies. There's some good ones out there, but we're just trying to get this done fast. I love A2 hosting. I met with them personally at a WordPress conference in Michigan just last year, and then I just started moving everything over to them. It's very inexpensive. It's very fast. It's some of the best WordPress hosting out there in its price range. Unless you want to be spending a lot of money on hosting, I say go with this. And it's very comparable to like Bluehost and other places like that. But I don't like Bluehost. I don't like GoDaddy. I think they are really bad. This is my favorite. They're super fast. You have unlimited websites, unlimited email accounts, and unlimited free tech support. So you'll go to A2 hosting. If you click through my link, then it's going to take you to here, to the WordPress hosting. What you want to get is the Swift plan. You don't want Lite because that's going to limit you to one website. And once you get into this, you're definitely going to want to build multiple websites. And then you want to get the Swift plan. That's what I would say to go with. You don't have to do the Turbo. It's about twice as expensive. It might be worth it. It might not be, but the Swift plan has always worked for me. So you go here and you want to get the Swift. You're going to get unlimited websites, unlimited email. You're going to get free SSL certificates. That's something that GoDaddy will give you like one free SSL. And then for every other website, we're going to charge you like 80 to 100 bucks a year just to manage it for you. So anyway, we get this, and they have an anytime money back guarantee. So if you did want to change over, you could. All right, so anyway, we'll click on Get Swift. And I have other videos where we go through this in depth. We're going to say that we're going to use an existing domain. And then we're going to type in whatever it is that we got over here at Namecheap. So we type in, jimsmarketingcompany.com or whatever and click use. And then we just go through the checkout process. The coupon, they always have some kind of deal going on if you click through my links. So the coupon will already be applied. And you'll probably, here, let me put this here. Let me put this through. I'll just show you the next one. And then here, it looks like it's going to be a bunch of money, but that's for 3 years. And actually, that's very cheap for 3 years. You could start with just 1 year if that's what you want to do. And then it still puts the discount on, so it takes it down to $65 for the entire year. That's crazy cheap. That's way cheaper than Wix, way cheaper than Squarespace, way cheaper than almost any hosting company that you're going to use that's at this level of quality. So I say go ahead, go do that, click continue, get your web hosting, and then after you get your website hosting, then we're going to go and do the next part. All right, so here's the last piece, and then we're going to get into building the actual website, is that you're going to go back to Namecheap after you bought that domain and you got your hosting. And then you need to do something called changing the DNS. And it's really easy to do. You just go to your domains, and over here on the right-hand column, there'll be a place where you click Manage. It's just a button that looks like this. So next to your domain, click Manage. It'll take you to this. And this is for easysmma.com. That's one of my tutorial websites. And so over here, when it starts out normally, it'll just have nothing here. It'll just say Namecheap Basic DNS. What you want to do is click on Custom DNS, and then it'll give you these spaces. And inside of it, you're going to put in these different things. ns1.a2hosting.com, ns2.a2hosting.com, ns3.a2hosting.com, ns4.a2hosting.com. If you don't have enough spaces, you just click Add Name Server and it gives you another space there. And anyway, I can put this in the description in the video notes as well. But all you're going to do is you're going to click through and you're going to put these in there. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell Namecheap to direct people to your hosting company when people try to access your website. So this, we could get into the techie stuff, but I'm just trying to make this really easy on you. So go into Namecheap, you do this, and then what you'll be able to do next is install WordPress on your hosting company. All right. So you got your website hosting, you got your domain. I'm going to click out of all of that. Next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to install WordPress. All right, so now the next step is going to be to install our WordPress website. We have our domain, we have our hosting, they're connected because we changed the DNS. And then after this, we're kind of getting close to being done with the techie stuff, and we can just do the design stuff, which is kind of fun. And after you've installed a couple sites, it gets to be really fast and easy to do. All right, so here, this is what your login is going to look like when you go into your A2 hosting account. We're going to click on cPanel Login. That'll take us over here, and there's a lot of icons and stuff here. All you need to do is in the top, let's just type in soft. And it's going to pull up the Softaculous Apps Installer. This thing is fantastic. It's going to make your life so easy. Click on that. It'll take you here, and then we're going to be able to install a fresh WordPress website in no time at all. So let's go to, let's do WordPress plus Elementor. I'm just going to click Install. And then over here, I'm going to choose where I want my installation URL to be. And so for you, what it's going to be is it's going to be whatever your website was. So if you got jimsmarketingagency.com, then over here you would be able to click on the drop down and you'd be able to select that. Now for you guys, I'm actually creating a new page which you'll be able to go to so you can look at this website and click around and play around and compare yours to it. So it'll give you a reference point. But what we're going to do is I'm going to do onepageagency.easysmma.com. This is what's called a subdomain. You don't need to worry about that. Yours will probably just look like jimsmarketingagency.com. Over here for choose protocol, if you just started, you're probably going to have to put HTTP. What you're going to do later is you're going to change it to HTTPS. And that'll show that it's secure. Here we can do things. We can put a site name here. So we could say, you know, my marketing agency, and then a description. We'll say #1 marketing agency in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I hope Oklahoma is okay. All right, and then here we're going to put in our passwords and everything. So we're going to create a username. We're going to create an admin password. I'm going to blur the screen while I do all of this. All right, so here we go. I'm creating something. All right, after you put in your password information, all that you're going to do is you're going to say where do you want to email your installation details to. So then you want to select where you're going to email installation details to. I'm going to put an email address in here, and then I'm going to click Install. Now you notice that it's just doing the installation process for you. This used to be a whole thing. Back in the day, you had to install all these files, and anyway, it was a whole thing. You don't have to do anything complicated anymore. You just click those few buttons, and it's going to do it for you. So I'm going to pause out while it's taking care of this. All right, awesome. So this is the page that it's going to take you to after it's been installed. And then you'll be able to click on your administrative URL, and that'll take you right to where you can do a login using the information you just did. So I'm going to do that, and that's going to take me to the dashboard for WordPress. Hey, check it out. You might be getting the same error that I got where it says it refused to connect. If you're getting this, I'm going to show you what the fix is. You might have just gone right into the dashboard, in which case you'll be able to fast forward past this next minute. But if you got this, I'm going to show you what your fix is. So let's go back to here. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to back out to our cPanel. Now, if you can't find this, then all you have to do is go to your client login screen again, click on cPanel Login. It'll take you there. Okay, so once we're here, we're going to have to make sure that our Ssl certificate is actually activated. So what you do is just type into here SSL, and we're going to go to Ssl Status. What this is it's just a certificate that's added to your website that tells Google, hey, this is a secure website. You can go ahead and access this. Because Google is doing a lot to protect websites, that protect people from websites that don't look secure. So all we'll do is we'll click on this. And inside of here, it's going to show us, oh, hey, it looks like our website doesn't have an SSL on it yet. See these big red circles? So I'm going to click this. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click both of them. I'm going to click on Run Auto SSL. It's pretty easy, right? It looks techy, but it's pretty easy to do. All right, hey guys, so hopefully that resolved for you with the Auto SSL. What'll happen is after you do that, you're going to go through and then you'll start to have the green next to your website instead of having the red next to it. Now see, I only have one of them showing, so I'll run this again later and maybe I'll have two. And sometimes, how this works out is you just have to wait a couple hours. Because the DNS, for when you change that at Namecheap, sometimes it takes a few hours for the internet to recognize, for the rest of the stuff to work. With this SSL stuff, sometimes it takes a couple hours for everything to recognize. So what you can always do is you can contact A2 Hosting's tech support. And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to use A2 Hosting, is because the tech support is completely free. They speak very clearly to you. They're always, they answer the phone quickly. They're very helpful. They're very thorough. And so if you have any issues, just give them a call with all this techie stuff. You don't need to master this. They already mastered it. So call them and they'll either do stuff for you or they'll walk you through it. And I use that all the time. So anyway, so now that this is here, I went and I re-clicked on my link. You probably also had your link emailed directly to you. And then it took me here to my WordPress dashboard. And if you've never seen a WordPress dashboard before, this is what it looks like. And so it has all kinds of stuff. And you're like, oh my God, there's so many things, there's so many options, but it's really not that bad. So what we're going to do, and this is even showing me what my login pages and everything. I'm going to change this later because obviously this is on YouTube. People can see this. I don't really want you to see it. So I'll change that out later. All right, and so I'm going to say do not allow for this. I'm just going to start getting rid of stuff. Here I'm going to put hide this message. They're just leaving that there. I'm going to put dismiss. I don't need all this stuff. I'm going to X out of this. I'm starting to try to get rid of as many things as possible because I don't want all of this clutter here. Now what you can even do is you can go to screen options and you can deselect things and it will just disappear. Like if I deselected this, then it just disappears from here. All right, so anyway, this is kind of cool. You have your knowledge base for A2 hosting, so if you have questions, you can click on that and see some stuff. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start to clear things out because I don't want most of this stuff. So what we have here on the left-hand side these are the different kind of areas of WordPress. There's creating posts, which are like blog posts. There's your media, uploading your pics and your video, your pages, creating individual pages. For us, we're only going to have one because it's a one-page website. And there's all kinds of different stuff that pops up here. But let's go to plugins. Plugins are like little pieces of software. We're going to do installed plugins. They're like little pieces of software that get added to WordPress. And they let you do different things on top of WordPress. So there's a couple things that we want to add right away. Now, there's some things I don't need. Like I'm not going to use this or this. And then let's see what other ones don't I want. I don't want the EWWW. I don't want Jetpack. I'm going to leave WP Forms on there, even though I'm going to show you a way where you don't need to use this, but I'm going to leave it on there for something else. And then I'm going to go to Bulk Actions, click Deactivate, because I'm turning these off. That's what deactivate means. I'm going to click Apply. All right, and then I'm going to click those exact same ones again, And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete them. So I'm going to click Bulk Actions, Delete, and Apply. All right, but there are some plugins that we're going to want to use because they're going to make our lives useful and we're going to provide certain functionality to the website that we really need. So if we want to add a new plugin, all we do is we're going to click Add New. All right, and then there's a couple that we want to get in here. The first thing is we want to type in iThemes. And we're going to get this, iThemes Security. Now, every website needs to have some kind of security plugin installed because for whatever reason, people really like to hack websites. And so you need to protect yours. So we're going to click Install Now. It's installed. Now we click Activate. And this makes us actually active on our website. Okay, now we'll see now that we have iThemes Security active. And if you want to do real hardcore security, then what you want to use is Malcare. And I'll put a link to this in the description. But Malcare is it's what I use for most of my more major websites, and it's a very powerful security plugin. So I do really like using this one quite a bit. It's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. If you're making a website for a client, of course, you just pass a cost on to them. But it usually costs $100 a year to get one site covered. And I have a 15 site license, so that's what I normally use. But they're really good. You don't have to get that, but you know, if you want to make sure that your website is secure, super secure, you can do that. Otherwise, we're just going to use iThemes, and we're going to go to Settings, and we're going to turn on one extra thing here, which is we are going to turn on our brute force. So we had to click on Settings, and we're going to do a security check. We're going to say Secure Site. I am going to click that they can identify IP addresses and ensure attackers are locked out correctly. All right. And then you could, if you want to get updates, you can put your email in here and have them send you updates, but they tend to send you quite a few. So I leave that as no. I'm going to click Activate Network Brute Force Protection. What brute force is when someone will use a bot to just try many times to put a password into your website to gain access. And it'll just try all these different combinations and everything. It's called a brute force attack. And that is not good at all. So this will make it so if someone tries to put in a lot of passwords, it's just going to block them out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click Run Secure Site again, and then close. And now my website isn't perfect, but that's at least one level of security that you can have there. Okay, so we have that, and there's a couple others that we're going to put on here. We are going to click Add New again, and we're going to put in an SEO plugin. This is my favorite free SEO plugin, Seo Press. So we want to type in Seo Press and get this one. There's also an Seo Press Pro, and I have a license for that to do it on, click Activate. I have a license for that I can use on unlimited websites. If you're interested, you can click Go Pro, or I'll probably have a link in my description, and it opens up a lot of very cool features. But for right now, that's just going to give us a basic SEO plugin. And then I'm going to tell you what the real big secret to building websites fast is, and that is using Elementor Pro. Now, a lot of people resist me on this, and I know everyone, has financial concerns, so maybe you can spend the money, maybe you can't. But I'm just going to tell you, get Elementor Pro now. Because if we can do this, it's not very expensive, and it's going to save you so much time. Here's what I'm talking about. If we look on the website, so let me pull over this website again. I'm going to pull it over to the screen. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we have in here. We have this custom header. We have these social icons. We have this really beautiful looking header up here. You can't do any of this stuff in the normal type of WordPress setup. You need to have a premium plugin to do this. Then other things as we scroll down, for instance, we're going to look, and I built out, I don't know if I put this in the original demo, but I have this whole list where you can put your service packages with these pricing tables. You can't do this in the free versions. You would have to download additional plugins to be able to do this. And then if you want to put this really beautiful contact form,
that's completely integrated super easily with your website. And you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to include new plugins. And some of these plugins, to get the good version, you have to do the paid one. Also down here where I have these social icons, I have an embedded Google map, all of this. This is all stuff where you're adding more plugins. You're probably going to have to spend money on premium versions. So what I want to show you is just how to get everything. And then you're going to be able to use this with clients too, so you can pass the expense on to them. But here, Elementor by itself is awesome. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. These are all in the free version, lots of stuff you can do. But when you do the pro version, that's when you can start to do the forms, you can do more complicated menus, you can do your own custom headers and footers and all kinds of cool stuff. So you don't have to get it. I'm going to show you some workarounds that you can use to avoid getting Elementor Pro, but I'm just telling you right now, it's just going to make it a lot harder. And just website building in general, if you get the Pro version, it's so much easier. Anyway, I'm not trying to hard sell you. I just want to save you time because we're trying to get this thing up fast. All right, so anyway, and then these theme elements, there's a lot of really cool things that the Pro version is going to do. So what you do is you can click the link in the description, or you could just go to elementor.com. And then there's the Pro page. You just click on pricing. And to get the one website, it's $59 a year. And then a lot of times they'll give you a discount on your renewals for the following years. So I have the expert version because I use it on so many websites. And it goes up to 1,000 websites for $200 a year. If you're building websites for clients, you're going to want to get that. But if not, you can just go ahead and go with a personal version just for this one website. So go ahead and click on Buy Now. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you end up not liking this and you don't think it's worth it, you can just get your money refunded and use my workarounds that I'll show you later in the video. But for right now, just click Buy Now, and I'm sure that you've bought stuff online before, so I'm not going to lead you through that whole process. But once you do that, once you buy that, then all you're going to be able to do is when you go in here, you're going to be able, when you go into your account, you'll be able to download the Elementor Pro plugin, and then we can upload that to our WordPress site. So I'll show you how to do that. And like I said, I'm not trying to hard sell you guys. I just want to save you a lot of time. So hopefully you got Pro, and then we're going to come back here, and we're going to click Add New. And then I'm going to click Upload Plugin. And then you're going to go to whatever folder, you're going to click Choose File, and you're going to go to whatever folder you saved Elementor Pro in. So I have it saved right here. I'm going to click Open, and then I'm going to click Install Now. Now it's going to take me to another screen, and it says, okay, so we installed the plugin successfully. I'm going to click Activate Plugin. All right, and so now you can see I have Elementor Pro here. Now it's going to say Connect and Activate. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And then it's going to take me to actually activate this on my website. So all I do here, I don't choose to be a super contributor there, but I'll click Activate. And we'll wait a second, and boom, now it's active. I know you guys are seeing my email all over this tutorial. You can email me. You can shoot questions over to me anytime you want. If I can help you, I'll help you. I'm happy to. Or just leave something in the comments. I can help you out that way. All right, but this is going to make our life a lot easier. So now I'll show you some of the cool things that can do for us in just a second. All right, cool. So now, let me check my note list here. Yep. All right, so we connected the account, and so that's fun. Now let's get to actually building this. I'm going to make sure that we have the right theme here. So let me make sure I put our theme on here. If I didn't, I'll show you how to do that. Sometimes when I record these long videos, I can't remember exactly what I put on. Okay. So here's the next thing we have to do. If you're on the dashboard, you have to use these things called themes. So like if I visit my website right now, you see it looks like a bunch of nothing, right? Now what we need to do is we need to install a theme, and a theme kind of creates like the general look of the site. And For the most part, it's not that important when you start using Elementor Pro, because when you're using Elementor Pro, you can just customize your theme however you want. So what I choose to do, instead of really caring about my theme, because you'll see all kinds of stuff where people are like top 10 themes for this or that, and I just think it's all garbage. I just get Elementor Pro, then I don't have to pay for a premium theme or support, and I'm just going to build my own theme, which means my own header, my own footer. If I do blogs, the way I want my blogs to look, there's just a lot of stuff I can do myself with Elementor Pro. So if you don't get Elementor Pro, you know, there's a little more work to do, but I'll show you how to do it. So anyway, we're going to go to Appearance, Themes, and then these are the default themes that are installed. And I'm going to click on Add New. You can see each of these, the default look of the website is slightly different. All right, so I don't want any of those. I am going to click Add New. I'm going to type in Astra. Astra is a very popular theme. It's updated constantly. I'm just going to click Install here. So it'll say Installing, and then I'm going to click Activate. And so even now, if I reload it, you'll see that my website's going to start to look different. I mean, this still doesn't look like anything much, but that's what a theme does, is it changes the basic outline of your website. So now that I have that installed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start building the site. So this is where it's going to be fun. Oh, let's do one more thing. You remember when we activated that Ssl certificate? That allows us to change something on our website that is very important to Google. So we're going to go to Settings. We're going to go to General. And right here where it says HTTP, we're going to change that to HTTPS, which shows Google that we have a secured website. And we can do that because we changed the SSL. All right, so I'm going to click Save Changes. And then if it does this to you, that's fine. Just go back to Softaculous and click on your icon here again to re-enter your dashboard. And it'll just take you back there again. Why that's happening is because the way A2 is set up is it doesn't use the default login page for your WordPress site. It uses a special one that's only for you that keeps it secure. So anyway, it just takes an extra second to do this. So I went back to Softaculous, I clicked on the thing, now I'm back in my dashboard. I'm going to go to Settings, General, and now you can see it's HTTPS, which is good. Google wants it to look like that. All right, so now we can get into the fun part. We can actually start designing our website. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Pages. Now, this is what it has already. These are just the default things. And we're actually going to just create Add New Page. And this is how we create new pages. Now, if you end up creating a website that has many pages, then you'll do Add New for each one. And what we're going to do right here is we're just going to put a title. We're going to write Home. And then down here, we're not getting into SEO stuff on this one, but you'll see that there's places, if you're familiar with this, to put in your title, your meta description, all kinds of, SEO stuff. But like I said, we're not going to cover that today because that's not what this video is about. We're just trying to get you up and running. We'll click on Publish, and then we have to click again. All right, and now we have this page live. And we'll click on Edit with Elementor. And boom, this is going to take us to be able to start doing our website with Elementor. This is where it gets fun. And if you look at this, what do you see? Nothing. There's nothing here yet. But Elementor, what it allows you to do, and this is where the magic is anything that we want to put on here, it's all here. So we'll just be able to drag and drop what we want. We want to put a form on there, cool. We want to put posts on there, we want to put a gallery on there. Whatever we want to do, we can just drag right over there and we'll be able to make it happen. So let's get to the actual website building now. This is going to be the fun part of it. All right, so we created a new page. Save draft, click to edit with Elementor. I'm looking at my notes. And then let's start with our first block. So we're going to click plus here to add a new section, and we're going to select this. There's different ways you can make a section into multiple parts, but we're just going to click this to have one. All right. And then next thing we need to do is we're going to, when we look at this, you'll see now we have a section here. And how Elementor works is I could click here, and this will help me add a new section above this. Like if I did that, it would add a new one. If I click on the middle, got it. If I click on the middle, it's going to pop this up where I can edit the section here on the left-hand side. If I click this X, it's going to delete the section. All right, so I'm going to put that back because I want it. And then I'm going to be able to start editing the section. Now, first thing we're going to do, if we look back at our original website, is we have this. This is the first thing we're creating. We're not creating the menu first, we're creating this thing. And so we need to find an image that's going to go in the background. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so where we're going to find that image is we're just going to go to pexels.com. Going to go to pexels.com, and here they have a bunch of free images. You don't have to pay to use any of these. And so I'm going to go here and I will type in office. And you could type in a lot of different things. You could look for different types of things you'd like to have here. It could be all kinds of stuff, but I recommend you pick a fairly simple image, just a professional setting, something like that, because this is giving people the impression that this is your agency and that has a crisp and modern and beautiful feel. So the one I picked was just the first one here. You just click here, you go to free download, and you can download the medium size version. So you just download that to your hard drive. Or you could do, if you want to do custom size, doing 1024 is fine as well. But to keep it easy on you, I'll just say medium, free download. And then once you download it, what you can do is you can go here, back to your site, and you're going to click on Style in the middle here. Every time that you're editing something, you'll have 3 sections. Whatever it'll be, Style, and then Advanced. All right, so I'm going to go to Style. I'm going to click on background type, and we're going to make the background here an image, just like you see this right here. So all we do is we click on here where it says image, and we're going to choose an image. Now, I don't have any in my media library yet, so I'm going to have to upload some. So let me select the files that I want to upload. And I already downloaded everything that I want. So let me go and find that. Yep, I put all these different images here, and I'll actually put a link to a Google Drive folder where you can just go and you could download all of these if you want to use them. All right, and I'm going to download a couple different images that I found that I liked. So let's see, I found all these, I liked these. So I'm going to upload those right now. I'll click open, and what's going to do is it's going to pull these into my media library. Once these are in my media library, then I can start using them on the website. And then there's other things you can do, like add alt text and captions and descriptions, but I'm not going to go over that right now because it probably doesn't mean anything unless you do a lot of SEO stuff. So I'm going to click Insert Media, and you'll see something started to appear here. Now, as I add more elements, you'll see this start to flesh out. So what's the next thing we need? We need to put in this header, and we need to put in this subheader, and we're going to put in an action button here. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so how I create those things, so I'm going to put in my first heading. I just click here, and I just drag this over. This is why we're using Elementor, because it makes life really easy. Now, I don't like this color, and I don't like this font. So I want to change my color and fonts, my defaults here. So I'll click up here on this hamburger icon, and then I'm going to go to default colors. I'm going to make all of these black. And for whatever reason, you have to click on another color and then click on black. I don't know why. It's just probably a little bug in the program, but it's fine. So I'm clicking on each of these up here. Primary, secondary text, accent. I'm just making all of them black. If I want to use something else later, I will. All right, so I'm making all of those black, and now we'll see it's black, but I still don't like this font. I'll click apply here. but I still don't like this font. So I'm going to go to the hamburger icon again. I'm going to click Default Fonts. And the font I'm going to use is Playfair Display. It's kind of a fun font. It's sharp, it looks really nice. Obviously you don't have to use this, but you could use whatever one you want to, but I just like it a lot. So we're going to do Playfair Display. And then I'm going to do also for my secondary headline. I'll do it for my body text. I'm just going to do the same for each one. You can play around with using different fonts, but I really recommend not using more than 1 or 2 fonts on a website. If you do more than that, it starts to look confusing. All right, so I'm going to click Apply. All right, okay, now things are going to start looking how I want them to. So we'll notice this looks really big and it's right there in the middle. So what am I going to do? When I click on this, if I click on it, I can go back in and edit it. And what I decided to put was Tulsa's #1 digital marketing agency. Okay, you can put whatever you want. That's what I'm going to do. You could have put whatever you want to. And you'll see that I have it there, but it's small and it's a black color. And it's over to the left, whereas this one is in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. I can align it left, center, right, whatever I want to. I'm going to put it in the center. And then over here, when I go to style, now I can do things like play with the size of the text and the color and everything. So I'm going to make the color white. So I think that pops up in a nice way. The typography, I need this to be bigger. And so let's see what I want this to be. I could play around with it if I wanted to, but I'm actually going to look. I'm going to look over here. I have, you can't see this, so I'm actually looking at what I already did before. So I made this a 62. So I go to typography and I can play with the size. Now I could just drag this and I could like look at the thing like that. But I know what I want it to be is 62. So I'll put it right there as 62. All right, so that's starting to look kind of good. And then I'm going to put down another heading below it. So I'm going to, again, I'll go up to here to get all my widgets, and then I'm going to pull over heading again. And you'll see now it looks different. Now we're getting my default font that I said. I'm going to center that. And that's what I want to put for my, my subheading. I'm going to go over to style. I'm going to change the text color to white. All right, that was kind of nice. Now I'm going to go to my typography and I'm going to see, well, what size do I want this to be? And I'm going to actually make this 29. And I want this to pop a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I can play with the weight, which is how thick the letters are, transform. This has some different things with capitalization and stuff. Style is when I can make something italic. So I'm going to make that italic. I can also do directions, which are things like underline, overline, strike through, line through, things like that. And now that's starting to look kind of nice. I do like that. All right, so now I have that. And I'm going to add also, if we look at this original one, we had a button there. So I'm going to put that button there that says Get Started. So all I have to do is go to my button widget. I'll drag that right there. And with my button, I can put here in the text area, I can put whatever I want this to say. So I'm going to have this say Get Started. And then I'm going to center it. And then right here, this isn't going to mean anything to you for a minute, but here in where it says link, it's going to be the number sign, and then I'm going to write the word contact. And a little bit later, that's going to make sense. For right now, not so much, but we'll get to it in a minute. All right, so if I go to my button now, I want to style this because this doesn't look very good how it is. So what I'll do is I'm going to go to Style, and then I am going to set the typography. I'm going to set this to 28. You'll see that just got a little bit bigger, right? Okay, and then what I can also do is I can go down and I'll click out of this. I can go down and I can set the padding at whatever I want. The padding is going to be kind of this space here between the letters and the outer edge of a button. So I'm going to set my padding at 18. Now that's starting to look a little bit different. My border radius, this is how I can make, instead of it being a crisp 90-degree angle on the corners, I can make it a little bit rounded. I'm going to put this up to 7. Okay, that's starting to look a little bit better now. I like that. Okay, and then what else do I want to do here? I think I want to change the font that I'm using. So let's see what kind of font I want to use here. I'm going to try Oswald. This is a nice, crisp, modern font. Oh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, so I'll do that. And then we can also change the background color here. Right now it's just a black. If I click background color, I can make this into any color that I want. I could move this around and select whatever color I like. I could play with the color strip and find different colors. What I want though is I'm just going to use this default blue that comes with Elementor. So I can do that, or I could pick any of the other ones. Here's a quick pro tip, like say I found this purple and I really liked it. I could click on this plus icon and then it'll save that purple there so that I can use it whenever I want to really easily in the future. All right, but I don't need that right now. I'm going to go and use that blue. I like that. Now there's one other thing I did here to make this pop a little bit more. Well, two. You see how for one, how it pops out like that, and for another it has a white border on it. So if I go over to here, you'll see that I have border type. So I'm going to click solid. And then I'm going to just put the width up to, see, I think I'm just going to do 2. I'm going to change the color of the border right here. Click on that, make it white. Boom, I like this. I like how this is looking. Now I have this nice one. Now if I want to have it do that popping thing, then what I'll do is I'll click on hover, and I can do hover animation. I'm going to click grow. And now when I go over it does that. There's a lot of fun things here. I can make grow pulse grow where it does that. I could play around with this a lot if I wanted to. But I like grow. That's kind of one of the things people are used to seeing. So let's go ahead and let's use that. And we're starting to have a pretty nice looking hero section. Now, there's only a couple things here that I don't like so much. One, I don't like how everything's spaced here, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to click on the middle here. This is going to allow me to edit my entire section again. If I go to layout, I am going to go to advanced. And advanced is where I can change things like padding and margins. So if I go to 120 with the padding, do you see what just happened? Instead of everything being crushed there up at the top, now everything is spaced out real nice. I can see more of my picture, everything is separated a little bit. I'm starting to really like how that looks. Oh, but I'm noticing a couple funny things. Notice the picture, it like goes and tries to copy itself. And also I can't really see everything here. This white is fading into the white behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Style here. And where it says Size, I'm going to make this Cover. If I do that, it forces the picture size to fit correctly. Now I'm starting to like that. That looks good. But I still have a trouble reading this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an overlay. So I can scroll down a little bit more and I can go to where it says Background Overlay. And then now I'm going to be able to put a dark overlay on this background image. Like you can see here how it's darker. And that's going to make these letters pop out a lot more. So let's go ahead and do that. Give me just a second. I'm going to look and see what settings I used here so I can do this really quickly for you instead of playing around a bunch. All right, so it looked like I used the dark gray here. So I'm going to click on background type. I'm going to click on the paintbrush. I'm going to select my color. And what I'm using is essentially this dark gray right here. Okay, so I'm going to use that. And then for over here, I can say what opacity do I want it to have. And I could say I can put it as high as I want to. So let me play around a little bit, and I'm going to try to make this look exactly how I want it to look. You know, I like if I have the opacity at 1, it looks like you can't see anything. But what I can do is I can go back to the color, and right here I can change the level of transparency on that color. See how I'm doing that by dragging this? So I can make it a little darker, I can make it a little lighter. I can kind of make it whatever I want to make it. So right there I start to be able to see everything pretty nice. I kind of like how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I could also just use the black here. Oh, I like that more actually. So I clicked on black, and then I dragged this down until I could see my image. I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to do that. I still can't quite see these things how much I want to though. So here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to go and I'm going to click back over here to my heading. And then on my heading, I'm going to add a text shadow. So I'll just click this. And I'm going to put my horizontal to 2. I'm going to put this here. Let's play around with this a little bit. Oh yeah, you see what's happening? I can add a shadow to my text like this. Make it whatever color I want to. I'm going to make it black because that makes it pop really nice. And I'm going to do the same thing here to my subheader. I clicked on it, I'm in Style, and I'm going to click on Text Shadow, Horizontal 2, Vertical 2, and I'm going to make my shadow black. All right, I like that. Now this is looking really nice. You know, I might want to change one more quick thing here. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put in one more thing here. You see how on this one there's some nice spacing which lets everything breathe a little more? I'm going to put that in here as well. By the way, have you noticed that I'll click this button so I can see what the entire screen looks like, and then I'll click this and I get my widgets back. I'm going to use something called a spacer. I'll put a spacer, so I'm grabbing the spacer widget, I'm going to put it between these two. And then over here I can control the size of it. I'm going to make it pretty small. I'm going to make it as small as it can be. Then I'm going to take another one, I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to make it as small as can be. There. I like that. I like that a lot. My button pops out. I think this looks pretty darn sharp. How about you guys? That looks pretty good. Okay, so we're pretty close to what we have here. Now, the only other thing I'm going to change here is you notice how that background is staying still even though I'm moving this? I'll show you how we're going to do that. We're going to go to this Edit section again and click on Background. And then right here where it says Attachment, I'm going to click Fixed. And there, it's going to stay right where it is even when I'm scrolling. I like that a lot. Okay, so now you're starting to get the hang of this, hopefully, how this whole thing works. And now we can go a little bit quicker through the next sections. So now, the next thing I need to create is my About Me section. So let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on the plus. I'm going to click on here. And I'm creating a new section. All right, so you know, for the last one we added a picture and we did all this really fancy stuff. With this one, we're not going to have any fancy background. So I'm not going to bother with doing a picture. All I want to do is I want to create a little title here, some text about me, and put in another picture there. So let's go ahead and do that. What I need to do is I need to go to this widget and pull an intersection. What intersection does is allows me to create two columns here. One's going to have my text, one's going to have my picture. So for the text, we're going to start with a heading. And then what did I put here for a heading? All right, I like that. I can use that again. So here where it says title, I'm going to put that there. All right, this one looks a little different though. It has a different color, but it's kind of big, and also it's centered. You see all of this is centered. So what we do is on our alignment, we're going to click center. That looks nice. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So what size did we use? I'm going to look back at this other one. 46 is what I used. So I'm going to use that again here. So how I change that is I go over to Style, and we're going to go to Typography, and for size I'm going to click 46. All right, that looks pretty nice. All right, I like that. I also wanted to change the color, so I found this really nice blue. I'm going to use that. I'm going to save it, so now I'll have access to it. I click the plus icon, so I'll have that. And then over here, now below it, I need to put in some text. And so I'm going to do the text is I'm going to go back here to my widgets. I'm going to click Text Editor. And then I'm just going to put in whatever. You can fill this out with whatever makes sense for you. All right, so I can click that, put it in here, and now I just have my text. Like I said, write whatever you want to. Now, I also chose to edit the text, or center the text, and I made it a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I go over to Style, here's where I can choose my alignment for text. You'll know it's a little bit different with the headings. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Typography, because this is where we change our size. Click 20. All right, it's starting to look pretty good. Starting to look pretty good. All right, and then we wanted to have our picture over here. So all I'm going to do is go to my widgets. I'm going to grab an image and pull it over there. And now I can make this whatever image I want. So I'm going to click here on Choose Image. And what I want to do is I'm going to upload a file, actually. And I found this picture. You would just put a picture of yourself or your company or your team or whatever. But I put that there. I'm going to click, I uploaded it. Now I'm going to click Insert Media. All right, that looks kind of nice, but I think the image looks way too big and this doesn't have enough room. So I can put my cursor right between, and you see how the double arrow thing happens? I'm going to put that there and I'm going to slide this over. And what I'm doing is I'm making this column bigger and this one smaller. So I can make it however I want to. Let's see how I like it. I like that. I think that looks pretty good. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is this seems too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to edit this column. See how we have a column here and a column here? Now, how you edit them is if you hover, you'll see this little thing here, and it'll say Edit Column. So I'm going to click on this, and you'll notice I'm not clicking on this one. I'm clicking on this one from the intersection that we created. And if I go over to Advanced, I'm going to change my padding to 79. Check out what happens. That's kind of cool, right? Now this is starting to line up in a way that I really like. I think that's looking really nice. Might want to make the text take up just a little more of a space. There. I like that. I'm going to keep that. Okay, so now we have an About Me section. Now let's see, does this match what we had over here? Yeah, it matches pretty darn good. You know, it looks like the picture is a little bit of a different size, but you know, it's essentially the same thing. You'll notice there's a little bit more gap here at the top. If I wanted to play with that, what I would do is I'd go to edit my section. And just like we did in the first one, I could go here and I could change my padding. So I clicked on this, then I clicked over to Advanced, and then I could click on my padding. Let's see if I did anything funny in the first one. Yeah, it looks like in the first one, my original, I decided to do this. I'm going to click this to unlink the values. That means I'll be able to put different numbers in each one instead of them all being the same. I'm going to do that, and this is what I played with that I liked. I did 16, 35, 16, 35 for top, right, bottom, left. And then that is nice. That creates a little more space on the top and the bottom. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, so that section's done. Next section is going to be services we offer our clients. So I definitely want to get in that. And you see how there's this angled line? We're going to get to that in just a second. So I want to create this next services section. I think this looks really nice. So what do we got to do? We got to click here. We got to create a new section. Boom, there it is. All right, very cool. So what do I need to have in here? I need a heading, and then I need to create all of these cool little things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by dragging a heading over here. I'm going to center it, because I like that centered. And then I'm going to change the text. I like services we offer our clients. You could just put services or whatever you want. All right. And then let's notice that's small, and also I wanted an underline. So what am I going to do to create an underline here? Well, I'll show you how that works. We're going to go over to Style, Typography, and then here under Decoration, we select Underline. That's all you got to do. I think this is way too small. I'm going to make the size 50, and that's going to make it more what I want it to be. That looks good. Okay, that's cool. And then we need to put these little widget things in here. So how we're going to create that, we're going to have to create another intersection. Anytime that we have multiple columns, what we're going to use is this thing called intersection. So I'll drag that below here. And you'll notice that we actually have 3 columns on this, but don't worry, I'll get to how that happens. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a widget called an image box. So just to find it quickly here, I'm going to type in image, and you see this pulls up image box. So boom, I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to make this one look really nice, and then I'm just going to duplicate it out. So first thing we need to do is find a cool image. So I'm offering custom web design, and then I need to find an image that matches that. So here, in this image box, I can change the image, the heading, the description. I am going to make that my heading. The description I'm not going to put in there. You can put whatever you want to. And then for the image, I need something. Now, one of the easiest ways to find these is to go to iconfinder.com. And then you don't have to get any of the paid plans. All I do is search in what I'm looking for. So I might type in web design. And then it's going to show me, I can select just free icons. And then it's going to show me all of the free icons I can download that are related to web design. And so you could just find something that you like, or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you don't offer web design, you offer different services. But say you're like, okay, this one looks like it matches. I click on it. I'm going to download it as a PNG. I just download that into my computer. And then when I go here, I can choose image. And I'm going to upload some files. I actually found a few of these that I really like. So I'm going to upload all of these I found that I like. I downloaded all of these from Icon Finder. And I'm going to use the one, I like this one for web design. So I'll click on it and I'll click Insert Media. And now I have this cool little widget here. I think that looks really neat. All right. So then let's see if I have to change anything else here. I'm probably going to play with the styling a little bit, just how things are spaced and all that. So I can click over to Style. Let's see, 15, 30. You know, I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that. So if this looks how I want it to look, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to here, Edit Column. I'll right click on that. I'm going to click Duplicate. And now it makes another one. And then I'm going to click Duplicate again. All right, now you can see that all that work I did, now I just have to change out the text and the image. I'm going to right click on this and click Delete because that's an extra column. And now I have my 3. Now I just need to change these out with the text and the images I want. So let's do that really quick. I'm saying I offer SEO. I'll click on this one, make that SEO, and then I liked this image for SEO. Obviously, it might take you a little bit to figure out exactly what you want to do, like Facebook marketing. So I'm going to make my next one Facebook marketing. Okay, that's starting to look pretty cool. All right, so now I have this thing with these 3, and that looks pretty good. Now you'll notice on the original, I had a total of 6 services. So you don't have to put all of those on there, but I'm going to. And instead of recreating this whole thing, I'm going to click on this intersection. I'm going to right click and click Duplicate. And boom, now I have 3 more to play with, and they're all lined up exactly how I want. So the other things I wanted to do were social media management. Cool, so I'll make that social media management. I'll put this little icon in there, and then I wanted to do review generation. And again, you'll just make these whatever you want them to be. What did I like for review generation? I liked that one. And then I put LinkedIn connections, helping someone build their LinkedIn account. So let me put that there. I'm going to put the little LinkedIn icon. Boom. I think that's looking pretty darn good. What do you guys think? It looks pretty good. All right, so what else do I want to put in here? You know, again, I just want a little more space between this title and these. So I'm going to grab my spacer widget. All right, I'm going to make it as small as it can be, but I think that's perfect. I like it. I like it. Now you're going to notice here that we have these diagonal effects here, but I'm going to come back in a minute and do that. What I'm going to change for right now is, you notice how I changed the color just slightly? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to change my background color. I have this nifty Chrome extension. It's totally free. It's this one, Color Pick Eyedropper. But I can click on anything and it'll give me the code for that color. So anyway, I have this installed. I want to take this color, so I'm going to click on there. It gives me what's called the hex code. So I'm just going to Control C, copy that. I'll X this out. Now I'm going to go back over here. You can make this whatever color you want to. So I'm going to click on my Edit This section, and then I'm going to go to Style. I'm going to go to Background Type, and I'm just going to change the color. I'm going to change the color to this. See how we have just a subtle color difference now? And I'll click plus because I think I'm going to use that again later, and now it just got added there. So it's not a huge difference, but it's just enough to break that up. You know what else is I think I'm going to want to change my padding here. So let's click on this, and you notice how everything's pushed right up against the edges. I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm clicked on my section. I clicked on Advanced, and now I can change my padding. I'm going to unlink the values. Let's go with 53, 39, 39, 39. And now it just feels a little better. The spacing's just a little bit better. Okay. All right, guys, I hope you're starting to get the hang of this. Now, next, what do we need? Let me get control on my mouse here again. Boom. All right, so next below that was our results achieved for our clients. And we have this cool background there. All right, let's hit this. All right, so I'm going to do a new section. Clicking plus. All right, and then in this section, you'll notice I have another one of these background images in the back there. So you could pick whatever you want. Again, you could go to Pexels and you could find something that you think looks cool. I picked this one, but you can do whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be Office related. So I'm going to edit this section. So I'm clicking on those 6 dots in the middle. I'm going to Style, clicking on Background Type, and I'm going to find an image I like. So I already downloaded this one before, so I'm going to use that again because I think it looks cool. I like the green. I think it adds a nice color. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then, you know, like we did last time, I have to play around with it a little bit to make it look exactly how I want it to. For the size, I'm going to make this cover because, again, that forces the image to fit all the way across just once. And then for the attachment, I'm going to choose fixed because that does the thing where even when I'm scrolling, you can even see it as I'm doing it now, the picture stays in place while I'm scrolling. And that's kind of a neat effect. Okay, so I like that. And now the next thing I need to do is I'm going to put in this little thing here where I can put in my results achieved for our clients. I'm actually going to take that text right now. But you'll notice that I have this white block section in the middle of this picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to create an inner section, but I'm not trying to create multiple columns now. All I need is to create something in the middle where I can create that white block. So it automatically creates with 2 columns. I'm going to right click over one of them and just click delete. And now this is just one column. And then I can, let's see, I can click on the column. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do this, yeah. All right, so I'm going to click on the column here. I'm going to click on, you see this thing? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on Style, Background, and then here, I'm going to go and just select white. And now I'm just going to have white there. So I like how that looks. I'm going to start to drag in my heading, center it, results achieved for our clients. And let's see what kind of size I want this to be. I think I'm going to make this 50. That's what I did on one of the previous ones, and I liked how that looked. Yeah, I think that looks nice. All right. And then what do we have? We have a little bit of space, and then we're going to have this thing. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to pop that guy in there. I did put a little spacer in here like I have before, so let's drag in a spacer. Let's make that minimal. All right. Then we're going to put in another image box, which is the same thing we did up here. So again, let's type in image. We'll pick the image box icon. I'm going to put it right there below the spacer. And obviously this doesn't look like this looks, so we got to change some things here. So what am I going to do? I am going to scroll down in here, in image position, I'm going to put it on the left. See, I could do it in the center, I could do it on the right. This is why Elementor is so cool, because you can create all kinds of neat stuff. But I'm going to say, hey, this was the first thing I did. I created this result for a client. And then I had some text here that I liked. You could pick whatever you want. And then I'm going to put that down in this section. Boom, that looks nice. Now we need to have an image here. So I'm going to click here. And what I had done before is I just found like a generic company logo. But as you're working with clients, you could just ask them, hey, is it okay if I use your logo? Upload that, insert it, boom. Now I got that. Now the thing that I did different here though is you can see that I changed the size of these a little bit so it's easier to read. So what I can do to affect that is I can go over here to Style, and then I can decide if I click down on Content. So like right up here, if I change any of this, I'm going to be changing the image, like how far I want to space it and all that kind of good stuff. But if I click on Content, it'll open up where I can change the size of all these letters. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to, on the first one here, for the title, this thing, click on Typography, and make that 35. I think that looks good. And then for the bottom one, I want that text to be a little bigger. For the description, I'll click on Typography, and I'll make that 18. I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Does that match what we originally had? Yeah, it's pretty close. Okay, so I got that. Don't really feel the need to change too much here. I can, with the image box, let's see, let me scroll up a little bit. I could change just a couple different things about how things are aligned or the width or things like that. I kind of like all this. I'm not really wanting to change things too much. So there we go. I think that looks pretty decent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this. So I'll click Duplicate. I'll pop another one down there. And now I can just change out the text. So I can make the text what I want it to be. So on this one now, I'm changing out that. And then I'm going to change out down here. All right. And obviously make it whatever you want it to be. I wish these were a little bit farther apart. So let me see if I want to put anything there. You know, if I wanted to, I could play around with these and make them be a little bit farther apart. I'm not going to right now though. What I am getting here though is this looks all too close to the edges. So I want to make the spacing a little better. I'm going to click here and edit this intersection. I guess I could click here just on the column. Actually, let me do that. I'm going to click on the column. I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm just going to make all of these 33. And that creates a little bit nicer of a spacing with that. So I kind of like how that looks. Now let me see if I want to do anything else here. No, I think that looks pretty good. Just taking a look, seeing if there's anything else I want to play with here with the spacing. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, I am gonna want a little bit more room just in here so that image can show a little bit more. So I'm gonna click on this, and then on the padding, let's do this. Let's do 120. Or I'm gonna click this so I can put in separate values. So 120, 58, 120, 58. And then now, boom, there, that looks better. Looked a little bit too constricted before. So I like that. All right, cool. So we got that. Next section. This one's going to be really easy to do. All right, so let's go down here. We're going to create our next section. And then this here, this is just going to be an icon box. So icon box is a little bit different than a picture box. It's not that different. All right, so what I'll do here is I'm just going to click on my widgets. I'm going to type in icon. And then I'll go to icon box. Put that here. And see how it creates this basic format? All I'm going to do is tweak it until it looks like I want it to. So for the heading, I like just have a section about our approach. And then here you could write about, exactly what it is that you do and how you do it for your clients. You don't have to have this, but I think this is a nice looking little thing. Now I'll show you a little trick here. It's going to look like a big block of text. So if you want to create new lines, you have to put in this little piece of text here. See how I did that? It's these brackets with the letters B, R in the middle. And so I did that twice. Each time you do that, it creates a new line. So if I do it twice, then it creates a space between the lines. So I'll do that again here. It's a little hack for you. So if you put that there, then you see how now I have spaces. And I like how that looks more. So I'm going to use that. And the other thing is I don't like the size of this. I want that bigger, so I'll play with that. But first I'm going to play with the icon, because I don't like that icon. So what I can do is if I click on icon, it's going to bring up all of these different icons. So I could say, hey, I want it to be, this star. And then now that's going to be my icon. I like the fire, so I can just type in here, and it'll show me different kinds of fire that I could use. I like this one. I think that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to insert that, and now I have this one. You'll notice it still doesn't look quite right, though. So let's play with the size of things a little bit. All right. So again, if I want to change the size, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Style. And hey, maybe I want that icon to be a little bit bigger. I think that looks cool. And then maybe I want that content to look a little different. So I'll go to Content, and just like with the picture box, I can do the title or the description. I'm going to change the title. I'm going to make that 50. And boom, now that's starting to pop. That looks really nice. I'm going to keep this small, but if you wanted to change it, you could go to description and change it. All right, so now we have that looking pretty good. But again, everything looks a little claustrophobic. And so what I want to do with that is I want to just create a little bit more space. So again, I'm going to go to the section, click on the middle, go to Advanced. I'm going to unlink the padding, and then we'll do 60, 34, 60, 34. Ah, much better. Now everything has room to breathe a little bit. Okay, what's next? Okay, this is going to be fun. Now this is going to be a little bit more advanced, but if you want to learn it, just hang out with me and I'll kind of show you how this is done. So now we're going to talk about service packages. I don't actually offer service packages. That's not how I like to do business, but you could. So I just added a new section. You notice here I went back to doing that slightly off color, so I'm going to do that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on section, and then in my background, click on the brush, click on color, and I'm just going to already save this color from before. So I'll put that there, and now you'll see that. Well, once I put something in there, you'll see that there starts to be a color change. All right, so first thing I got to do is I got to put in my heading. See how this is starting to look kind of all the same? Like once you learn how to do this, it's actually not that big of a deal. All right, so with that heading, what did I do? I made that, let's see, let's make that a size 50 again. That seems to be the standard that we're going with. And then next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create these pricing tables. This is another place where I really wanted you to get Elementor Pro, because without Elementor Pro you can't do this part. You're going to have to download another plugin to be able to create this. All right, so I'm going to type in pricing, and then right there, price table. I'm just going to drag that in here, and it creates this whole thing. If you don't have Elementor Pro, you can't put this in here. And I just think it's going to make your life so much harder. So I hope that you just get Pro, and then your life's going to be easy. So let's call our first one Starter Package. I don't want this description here, so I'm just going to delete it, and that'll make it go away. I'm going to say my pricing for this is going to be $397 a month. And so I'll do that. And then period, monthly. Okay. I don't like how this formatting looks so much, but I can take care of that in a second. Then if I go down to features, I could just put in whatever items I want. This $397 a month includes 2 to 5 social media posts on 2 different platforms, plus basic SEO, plus whatever a website review. I don't know, you can put in whatever you like to put in there. It's up to you. Then for a footer, what do I want to put in there? You know, I am going to change this button. I'm going to make this get started, just like I had at the top. And then again, I'm going to put # contact, and I'll tell you what that means later. We're essentially linking different sections of a website. And then I don't think that I need to have this extra text here. You know, if you want to put something extra there, you could. I don't want it. And then ribbon is just, do I want to have this thing that says popular here? I don't, so I'm going to get rid of it. Now, a couple other things here is I'm going to go and I'm going to style this a little bit, because I think this looks a little janky how it is. And I want to look really professional. So I'm going to go to Style. And then for the header, I'm going to click Background Color, and I'm going to use that really nice blue. And let's see if there's anything else I want to do with that. No, I kind of like that. For pricing, I wasn't liking how the pricing looks. So I'm going to put some padding in here. I'm going to make this 16. As I do that, I think that's going to help a little bit. For the typography, I'm going to change that a little bit too. Let's make that 57. Makes it pop a little bit more. And then the line height. No, I don't need to play with that. Something else I had to do here to make this look the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to click over here. Pricing. Yeah, currency symbol. This is the $sign. I want to change that. I don't really like that size. So let's make that 29. I like that. I don't like how it's positioned all high up there. I'm going to put that more in the center. And you guys don't have to do all this if you don't want to, but this is just what I chose to do. And fractional part, I'm going to put that in the center as well. All right, and then let's see, did I play with the typography here at all? No. So I like that. Well, let's go to features. See if I like how the features look here. Yeah, I like this pretty good. I like how this looks pretty good. I don't really feel the need to change anything so much there. And then with the footer, the only thing really with the footer is I want to change the color of that button. I don't want that button to be that color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the background color. I'm going to make it blue. There, that's nice. And then I'm going to add a little bit of padding here. I'm going to make that 16. So that looks kind of nice. And then for the typography, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it, here you can change the button size. I'm going to make that large. I think that starts to look pretty nice. I like how that looks. The only thing I don't like is how squished together these two things are. So let's find a way to get rid of. Boom, there it is. There it is. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. There. Oh, good. Good, now we got it. Sorry Sometimes it takes a little bit of work. That's why I tried to do all this beforehand for you. All right, so I went in here and I went into pricing, and then in the period I clicked on typography and I changed the line height. That's how I can make that look however I want it to. See how it's changing the spacing? Boom. All right, we got it. We're good to go. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating 3 of these, because I'm going to kind of create a starter. I'll show you. I'm going to create like a starter, a professional package, and an elite package. And so I want these to be a little bit smaller. So I'll show you how I'm going to create that effect. All that I'm going to do is here I'm going to click on this column. I'm going to go to advanced and I'm going to click and make the padding 22. All right. And then also now it looks like there's no border there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this thing again, and I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to click on border, solid, width. I'll just make it 1. Boom. Now I got a little bit of a border on that bad boy. All right, so this is good. We did a lot of work here. Now all I'm going to do is right click on the column and I'm going to duplicate it. And now we got 3 of these. Again, we're going to erase out, delete out the 4th one, just like we did before. On this one, I want this one to be bigger. So I'm going to go back into the column here. I'm going to make the padding 0. All right, now that's going to look good. All right, another thing that now I can just change out the text here. So what I did here is I called this my professional package, and I wanted to put the ribbon on here, so I'll show you how to do that really quick. So we can call this one, clicked on it, I'm going to call this my professional package, and then I'm going to change my pricing. This obviously has to cost more, so let's make this $9.97 a month. And then probably got to put some more things in here. So let me add on a couple more items. Did you see how I did that? All I did was click this thing, and then it created a new item. I click this to get rid of it. You can make these whatever you want them to be. I'm going to leave that up to you. But now I have this. It looks really nice. The only other thing I wanted is I liked that ribbon. So I'm going to click on ribbon here and click on show. And now I get this. You'd be like, hey, this is my most popular. All right, so I like that. And I could change what side it's going to be on, but I'm going to put it there. I think that looks pretty awesome. Again, I think this looks claustrophobic because everything's too close to the edges here. So I'm going to space that out a little bit. And you know how we do this. You take the spacer, put it right here, make it small. I'm going to click and edit the entire section. And we'll do that. We will go to advanced. I'm going to unlink these, and then I'll do 120, 45, 120, 45. And right there, yep, that's looking really sharp. Okay, how are we doing? All right, it's been taking a little bit, but that's all right. Now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to put in a little testimonial section. Click plus there, add a new section. And then I liked using that image with a plant again, so I'm going to put that in the background. Go to Style, Picture. Where is my plant? I think it was this one. All right, so I'll insert that. And then remember, for position or for attachment, I have to put fixed. So that'll get the parallax effect. For size, I have to put cover. So I'm going to have that scrolly thing that I like a lot. Now I need to have a title here. So I'm going to say what our clients say about us. You can put testimonials, you can put whatever you want to. All right, so I'm going to put my heading in right there. I'm going to center it, change the text. Should be becoming second nature to you at this point. I'm going to make that white. And then I really want to change the color of this. I want to change the size of this because it's got to be bigger. So what we've been doing is we've been going to typography and making it 50. I think that looks pretty darn good. All right, so let's do that. Let's put in a little spacer. Make it as small as we can. Let's go and put in a testimonial widget. Testimonial carousel. This again, this is something you're only get in Pro. If you don't have that, then you could just put in another text here or whatever, and you'd be able to, or what do they have for the free widgets? You can put in your text and do it that way, or you can put in a single testimonial. So you could just, instead of doing what I did, you could have gone to widgets and then put in the single testimonial. But I think this carousel looks so cool. I just really want to use this. All right, so I'm going to click on this so I can edit it. Everything's disappearing right now in the back, so I want to put a nice background on there. So how I actually have to do that here is go to Advanced, click on Background, click on the brush. I know it's a little bit of a different place than the other ones, but it's the same idea. Click on here. I'm just going to make this white. Nice. All right, now it looks white, and that can pop out a little bit more. And then this is just, you would fill in this with whatever testimonials you have. So you could go to each of these and go to item 1. You could put in the content. This marketing company is so awesome. And then you could say, you could put in a person's image if you want. If you don't want to have the image, you just delete that out. And then it looks like that. And then you could just change the name, the title, or if you don't want something in there, you just delete it and then it disappears. And then you can just go through in each one and just add as many testimonials as you want. You could add 50 here if you want to. And it'll just scroll, scroll, scroll through all of them. It'll look really good. All right, now, as before, I do not like how claustrophobic everything feels. And so I'm going to click here on my section again, go to Advanced. I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to do the same thing you always see me doing, 120, 45, 120. So we wrap this up. We changed the padding to 120, 45, 120, 45. I actually just got to the max that my screen recorder could do, so I'm starting a new file here. But anyway, let's keep going, guys. All right, so now we're getting really close to the end. We got to do the contact form, put in this bottom part. And then we're going to add in a couple fun little features, and we're almost done. All right, so let's put in the Contact Us section. So again, I'm going to go here, click the red plus sign, boom. I'm going to add my heading. This heading is going to say Contact Us. You can put whatever you want. If you want to put Get Started or something like that, you can. I'm going to center it. I'm going to change the size, make that 50, because that's what I've been doing for all of my headings. And then I need to create this beautiful contact form. Now this is another reason we want to have Elementor Pro, because that's going to make this really easy. We can also use something called WP Form. If we want to make this really easy though, and we want to have it to have all the integrations and be able to send emails and integrate with our email responder and everything, then just with the Elementor Pro, it's really easy to do. So again, it's well worth the money. Because to do that with one of the free form plugins, then you're going to have to pay for the premium version of that plugin to be able to get the more advanced features. So why not just get it all in Elementor Pro instead of wasting your money everywhere? All right, so we did Contact Us, and then I'm not going to do a spacer between this and the form. I know I've been doing spacers a lot here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in form, and this is the widget I want. I'm going to put it down here, and then boom, I already have something that looks pretty good. But what I'm trying to do is name, email. I want them to be able to send me a message, and then I'm going to put in these kind of check boxes so they could tell me exactly what they want to use. And that way, when I give them a follow-up call or follow-up email, I know more about their needs, so it's easier to sell them. All right, so in the form widget, I can put in the different form fields. You see it has name, email, links to here, message, links to here. And then the other part I wanted to have is a checkbox. So I'm going to put add item. And here I can select what type. I'm going to select checkbox. And then below here, see for label, I'm going to put how can we help you? Because you see how that puts here. And then I'm going to put my different options. So I'll say social media marketing is one. Then the next option, I put on a new line. Website design, branding, SEO. And now I have my checkboxes, and that just looks so slick. I think it looks so nice. All right, next thing is this I can make things required. I can show if I want things to be required, and I can put that little red asterisk we're used to seeing. And you know, actually, I kind of like how that looks, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to make name required, emails required. I'm not going to make message required or how can I help you, but I at least need that name and email. And hey, if I wanted to put other stuff in here like a phone, I could just click add item. And then for this new item, I could say I want this to be, maybe I actually have a specific one for phone. If I don't, I'll just put number though. Yeah, so I have oh, there it is, tel, T-E-L. I can make the label phone, and then it's going to want that to be a phone number. See how it's popping down there? If I want to move it up, all I do is drag it. Just drag it right there. And now I'm saying that I need their phone number. I could even make that required. And then they have to put in their phone number as well. I'm not going to put that there for right now, but you could have it there if you want. Okay, cool. So then, let's work on this form and let's style this a little bit. The first thing we do is we create the thing, but then we have to style it so it looks how we want it to look. So for the submit button, I want the submit button to say get started, because I like the action feeling of that. So I'm going to put that there. I don't want it to be big like this, so I'm going to center it. All right. All right, this is starting to look pretty good. Then we can do all these things with actions after submit. All right, so I'm going to come back to this in a second. First, I just want to style this a little bit more. So I'm going to put this to style. And let's see what we did to play around with this. I like all of that, but I think this looks too small. So for the label, I'm going to change the size of that. Let's make that 22. Boom, now it's really popping. So I don't think it has to say name and then say name again in there. I think that's kind of unnecessary. So what I can do to get rid of that, there's probably a couple ways to do it, but what I like to do is I'll go to content, and for each of these where it says placeholder, I'm going to just delete that out. See how it makes that disappear? So I'm going to delete out here, the placeholder. Then for message, if I wanted to, I could put like, you know, write as much as you want, and have a placeholder there. But I'm just going to leave that blank for right now. And I think this looks a lot cleaner than if I have all those placeholders in there. So I have that. This is starting to look nice. I like the size of the fields. If I wanted to change the size of the field, then I could do that by going here, and you actually do it by changing the typography size. And I can like make everything really big or whatever, but I don't want that because I think that looks silly. It's unnecessary. So I'm going to change all that. What I do want to change though is the button. I think that button looks a little dinky. So I'll click on button, and then now I'm going to make the background color that really nice blue that I used before. So I like that quite a bit. I am going to make the button text. I'm going to make that bigger. Let's make that 27. Oh, that looks nice. That's starting to look nice. All right. And then I want it to have that rounded look. And remember, we do that with border radius. So I'll make that 6. See how it says it has round corners now. And then for the text padding, I'm going to do 20. There we go. I think that looks pretty nice. That looks really nice. Let's take a look at it. All right, we have a really nice contact form. You guys know I'm going to have to change the padding on this section to make this look better. So I'll click right there. Let me click right here. And then this one I'm not going to make as big as some of the others. I'm just going to make that 64. I think that's going to give me enough of what I want there. All right, so we got the contact form now. One more section, guys. One more section. Here, let's knock out this little thing at the bottom. This is going to be really easy to do. If you're getting tired here, you know, you can put this on pause and come back, but I recommend let's just go through it. So I just added a new section. I want to have this be that slightly darker color, so I'm going to Style, Background. I'm going to click on that color I saved. See, I got a little bit darker. And then I need to create these 2 columns, so you know how I'm going to do that. You know this by now. Probably getting pretty good at web design by now, just following me along with this. I'm going to put an intersection in there. Now I have 2 sections. One of them is going to have a map, and the other is going to have this stuff in there. So let's see how I want to do that. Let's start with the identifying information first. What we're going to do there is we're going to use a new kind of widget we haven't used before called an icon list. So let's grab that. I searched for it just by writing icon, obviously. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is I'm trying to put email and then a phone number. So I'll go to list item 1 and I'm going to select the icon I want. And I want something that looks like it's indicative of email. So I could put this, or there's an envelope one. You know, I could do different kind of ones depending on what I want. I like this. People are used to seeing this. So I could put that there. And then I could put email. And then I could put whatever my emails. info@examplesite.com. All right, so now I have an email there. We're going to change the styling on this. And then I want to put my phone there. So I'm going to change the icon by clicking on it. And let's see what we have for phone. We got a couple different options. This one's pretty standard, so I'll do that. Or actually, I want the one that faces the other way. There we go. Okay, really nice. And I can just put my phone number in there. I'll put phone, : boom, that looks pretty good. All right, now I'll show you a trick here. If you want to have people be able to, if you want people to be able to click on this and it'll pop up their email compose box so they can send a new email, just on link, do mail to, one word, and then put in the email. And it'll make it so if someone clicks on this, it'll pop that up. And with the phone, if you want them to be able to call you, like if they're on their mobile, if they want to be able to just touch that and pull up their calling thing, do TEL : and then put in the phone number in this format. And then that'll make it so if they touch it, it'll just make it want to pop up. All right, so I like that, but I don't like the style on it. So let's play a little bit. I'm going to put a little space between there. You could do a divider, you could do all kinds of stuff, but I don't really want that. All right, and then for the icon, I'm going to change the icon size because it's so tiny right now. So I'm going to make that 39. You know, you could slide it around, make it whatever you want it to be. But I think 39 is a pretty good size for me. And I'll make the alignment to the left, which it already is by default. For the text, I think the text looks too small. So I'll click on typography. I'll make that 23. And just like with everything else, you could change the color, you could change, you know, the weight, you could make that really thick text. You could do, you know, whatever you want to do. It's kind of up to you. All right, so next thing we're going to put here is we're going to put these social icons down there. This, again, if you have Elementor Pro, is very easy. Otherwise, I'm sorry, guys, you're going to have to just find some kind of plugin that can do this. I think it's going to waste a lot of your time, so I recommend you just do this. All right, so I got those in there. We could say if these are mine, what I would do is for each of these, I would just put in my link. So I'd put in my Facebook page, then I'd click here, I'd put in my Twitter page, I'd click here, I'd put in my YouTube page. Now, the only thing that I don't really like about this is I want them to be on the left, so I'll click alignment and put it on the left. I could make them circles, I could make them squares. I kind of like this rounded shape though, I think that looks nice. And then I'm going to stylize them just a little tiny bit, just because I want it to look a little bit different than this. It's fine how it is. I'm going to make that 43. I'm going to make the padding small and the spacing I'm going to put at 19. You could play around with it however you want, but I think that looks pretty solid. So I like that. I am not going to play around with anything else. I could though, like say I wanted to go icon hover, which means what happens if someone hovers over it. I could say I want to have it grow, you know, so it's like each of those would grow or something. I think that's a little distracting though, so I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so I got my social icons, that was pretty easy. And then I wanted to put something here. Just a little bit of text, a little bit more about me. Put some SEO language in there if you know how to do that stuff. All right, so I'm going to just drop a text block. put some text in there. Boom. There we go. On the flip side, I wanted to have a map, so I'm just going to type in map. And I think this feature is actually in the free version of Elementor. So I'll just click map, and then it's just going to pop up a Google map, just easy as that. Populates. You can put in your address here for whatever it is, and then it'll just have a map there. And that's another thing that's really good for your SEO. You can change the height of a map if you want to. You know, you could play around with that, stylize it, put borders on it, whatever you want to do. But right now, this is starting to look pretty darn good. Let's take a look at what we did. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top here. We have this beautiful hero image. We have our About Us, services we offer, results achieved, our approach, service packages, what our clients say about us, contact us, this section at the bottom. This is one really nice looking page. I think we kind of leave it like this, and we'd already have a pretty nice looking page. But I'm going to put in a couple little things. Let me show you what to do here. So, oh, by the way, if you haven't been clicking update every now and then, you want to do that. Because if you're not clicking update, then you could lose everything you did. So I'm going to click update. And that's telling Elementor to save what I've done. So I have this function here right now where if you click on one of these, it takes you to these different sections. Isn't that neat? So this is done using something called anchors. All right, so I'm going to set up some anchors here. And this is really easy to do. So for home, we don't really have to put anything in there. Let's see, so I gotta put one anyway. We don't really need to. So I'm not going to put anything for home. This we're going to call this the About Us section. So in my widgets, I'm going to search for my anchor icon, menu anchor. I'll just put this right at the top here. I'm going to call this About. All right, so I'm just going to type in all lowercase about, and it's going to put this invisible anchor here. It's going to come in handy in just a minute. I'll show you how this works. All right, now I'll put another menu anchor here. We'll call this services. What I'm doing is I'm just marking the different parts of my page. And this one, let's put an anchor here. And let's call this one, case studies, or we call this results. How about that? I like that. I'm going to make it all lowercase, just to be consistent. Then over here, I'm going to do another one. Notice I'm putting these up at the top of each section. We'll call this approach. And what we're going to do is we're going to link these to the menu we're creating. I'll call this, not services, I'll call this packages. All right. And then we're going to make it so that the menu can click to any of these sections. All right, we need another anchor here. We'll call this Testimonials. And then this one down here, we're going to call this Contact. Now, just to give you a quick peek about what we were doing before, remember how I said when we created this button, how I said where it has link, do # contact? This is why, because now that I put that anchor in there, if I click on this, it'll scroll me all the way down to the contact form. You see how it happened? So that's what you can do pretty darn easily. Oh, hey, okay, so that's what you can do to make it so that you can navigate really quickly, or you can have a call to action, like right here, it could say get started, and then someone clicks get started, and it takes them right to where we're going to contact you. So it's just funneling them into contacting you. Now with this form, I do want to show you there's something else that you can do. This is actually pretty important. After you do the form, then you can do actions after submit. And so right now the only action is email, which means it's going to email you something. So it'll email you to whatever your admin address was. So I could put here, whatever it would be, info@examplesite.co or whatever my email address is. And then when someone fills out this form, it's going to shoot an email to this email address. And then I could just say new message from whatever. And then here it says all fields, which means it's going to populate with everything they put in here. It'll have your from email. And this is just an email account that's automatically generated by your hosting company. And it just shoots it off. It should be pretty easy. You could CC or BCC someone on this if you want to. So anyway, this is pretty cool. Now, there's other things I'm not going to get into today, but you could have other things like you could have a second email. And the second email could be an email that goes to the person who filled out the form saying, hey, we got your form. Thank you so much. We'll be in contact shortly. Or I like to use GetResponse. If you don't use GetResponse yet, it's a fantastic platform. There's a link to it in the description. And so you could do GetResponse. I mean, you could go here and you could put in your API key and hook them up to one of your lists. And then you could have them start to get your autoresponder drip campaign happening. So there's all kinds of different stuff you can do. So for right now, we're just going to leave it at email like it was, and it's just going to send you everything, all the fields that they filled out. And it'll be pretty simple. If you have any issues with that, with the email sending properly, contact your tech support at A2 Hosting, and they'll take care of it for you. They've always helped me out a lot. And then as far as what the person filling out the form will see, they're just going to see the success message that says the form was sent successfully, which is fine. That's all they really need to see. You could change this to other things if you want to. All right, cool. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with that. Here, let me update this again since we put in the anchors. And now we're going to hop on to doing one more stylistic thing, and then I'll create that really cool menu at the top that lets you bounce back and forth between all those sections. All right, so the next thing we wanted to do is we wanted to put in, if you look at this, there's this really cool little angle here that happens. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really easy. I'll show you how to do it pretty quick here. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll just go to our first section. We're going to go to Style. And then down here it says Shape Divider. Just click on that. We're going to click on Bottom. And the type we're going to do is called Tilt. If you look at that, you're probably going to see nothing now. But if I played with the height here and played with the color, you'd see we're creating a shape that's going to be dividing our sections down there at the bottom. Now, of course, that one looks terrible. So let's make this look how I actually want it to look. So what we do is we select Tilt. For the color, I'm going to do white. Looks like you probably can't see anything, right? And then the height, I'm going to make 51. And I'm going to say flip on this. All right. And actually, I don't want this to be white. What I want it to be is a slightly off-white color that I had. So see that I had it as white, and it looks like that, like this. So it doesn't look like anything. And then what I'm going to do, so let me re-expand this. I'm going to make it not white, but I'm going to make it that slightly off-white color. And now it matches the next section. So now you have that tilt. And that slight angle makes everything look so much sharper. All right, cool. So pretty much, remember that we did a 51 height, that we hit the flip button, and that we're just doing it at the bottom there. Pretty much now let's just go and let's do this to some of the other sections. All right, so on the next section, I don't actually do anything. On the section after that, let's click on that. And then I'm looking at my notes here just so I can get this done really quickly for you. So on the next section, what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Style. We'll go to Shape Divider. We'll go to Top. We're going to do Tilt again. And then you see how it's going that way? We want to reverse that, so we're going to go to flip. We want the height again to be 51, and then we want the color to be that off-white. And now it makes it look like both of these have that same tilt. See that? And it puts it across the picture, and that is just a really slick look. All right, so we got that. And then we're also going to change the bottom on this one. All right, so on the bottom, going to do tilt 51, flip it, and we're going to leave it. We're not going to change the color because we want it to be white because this next section is white. So that's going to make those line up really nice. All right. And so then let's go to the next section. And we're not doing anything on the next section for approach, but we are going to change something here on our services packages. So let me go to that. And what we're going to do there is we're going to go to shape divider, and so style, shape divider. This is just these little touches that make everything look so much fancier. I'm going to flip it, 51, boom, got our tilt in there. And then let's see, do we do that on the bottom as well? Yeah, we're going to do that on the bottom as well. So I'm clicking the bottom, which means now we're playing with this part down here. Tilt, 51, flip, and then with this we're going to do that off-white color that we have. So I wanted to do here, let me take a quick look here. No, actually I didn't want to do that so much. You know what I really wanted to do with this? Here, forgive me for this one. What I really wanted to do was at the top of this one. So let's click on our next section. Go to shape divider, top, tilt, 51, flip, make this one be off-white. Boom. See how that works? Makes that look really, really nice there. Okay, cool. I like that a lot. That looks good. Shape divider. All right, so for this one, let's do the bottom as well. So we'll click on bottom, tilt, 51, flip. We're doing this part right here. And we don't need to change the color because we're going into a white one again. Yep, and then at the very bottom here, I don't want that to be tilted. So let's click update. And now we have that really slick looking tilt effect on the entire thing. Doesn't it look awesome? All right, I like this a lot, guys. I think this is looking really good. All right, you ready to tackle that menu? That's the next piece. All right, guys, I took a quick little break there. So I'm back here. Let's finish this up. We're going to get right into the menus. So if you look at this right now, you'll see that the website is looking essentially how we want it to. However, this menu looks really silly, especially if we look at that compared to the beautiful menu that we have on this page. So let's match these up now, all right? All right, so I'm going to go back to Elementor. I'm going to click on this hamburger icon. I am actually going to right-click on Exit Dashboard because I want to open that in a new tab. All right, now where we do menus in WordPress is we do it where it says Appearance. And under Appearance, you'll see that this sub-menu opens up. Here, let me go back to it. And then we can select Menus. And then let's give our menu a name. Let's call it Menu 1. All right, we'll say Create Menu. And what we're doing now is we're going to do the work to create this thing up top here. All right, and so we need these different sections in the menu. I'm going to click back over here, and I don't want any of these. Well, actually, I might want Home. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click Add to Menu, because that's the legit page. That'll take us back to the top of our page if someone clicks on that. But what I want to do is I want to create custom links. So custom links are when we're trying to put something in the menu that's not actually a web page. We only have one web page because this is a one-page website. But we can put in custom links in here that'll have it so if they click on the menu, it'll just scroll down. So it'll be like if I click on About Us, it scrolls right down to About Us. Sound good? Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and you remember all those anchors I put in? I'm just going to click on them, and I'm going to get what the names were. So his first one was About, so I'll copy that, and I'm going to create a URL that says $about, and then my link text will be About. I'm going to add that to the menu, and now we see it pops up over here. So if I click Save on that, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Here, I'm going to refresh this. Before you refresh, always make sure you update if that button looks green. But I'm going to refresh. So there's nothing to update. Now let's see if something started to pop up there. It might not have yet. And if not, there's just one more thing I have to do. All right. Turning on my secondary recorder too in case my recordings don't work here. Yeah, so we don't see it updated yet, but there's something I need to change for that to update. Let's just add the rest of these in here. So we did About. Now we're going to go down to this is what we call services, I think. Yep, services. So let's create a new custom link. Click on that. Custom link, $services. Add to menu. What's next? I'm going to do these kind of fast, but you can go back and look over it again if you want to. Results. I like that. I like that word more than case studies. Say results. So again, $, and then whatever we put in the anchor, and then here is going to be how we want it to show up in the menu itself. So I'll click on that. What's the next one we had? Approach for the Our Approach section. So $approach. And then we could write approach there, add to menu. It's pretty easy, right? What is this? Services? Oh, packages, right? Because services was something else. So here's our packages. Put that on there. We're actually adding kind of a lot of options to the menu. So this might make the menu look cluttered, in which case we could do less. All right, next section we had was testimonials. Again, I'm just going through and I'm clicking on the different menu anchors I created in the last section. And I'm just adding them all to this new menu that we have. And of course we need contact. All right, so let's do that. $contact. Contact. We could also make that get started, but we have a couple get started buttons on the page, so I don't worry about that too much. All right, that looks like a lot of options. We might not necessarily want to have all of those, but let's just save the menu and let's see how this looks. All right, so we did that. Now you can see our menu is saved. It says menu 1 has been updated. We have to do something else though. Under appearance, we also have customize. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to open that in a new window. See what I did there? I went to customize and then I opened it in a new window. Customize, this is how you used to have to do everything in WordPress back in the day, before they had things like Elementor Pro. So if you look at this, this is actually showing me my website, and that doesn't look anything like what we're looking at over here. So we need to make one little tweak, and it'll change that. What we're going to do is we are going to go into homepage settings. I'm going to click here. And then your homepage displays, I'm going to put a static page. And it lets me pick what is my static page. So I clicked on homepage. I'm going to select home. Because if you remember, that's what we named our homepage. That's what we named that fancy page we've been creating. All right, so I put on home, and now you can see that our home page is actually going to be here. This is going to be the default. I'll click publish. However, that menu still looks weird. I don't like that menu. So what else do we have to do? We have to go, I went back, see I was here, I clicked this arrow to go back. Now I'm going to click on menus, and I am going to say that I want menu 1, and I clicked over here to view all locations, and I'm just going to say that I want that to be my primary menu. And now we'll see it up here. You're going to see it's going to take up a lot of space. So, but that's okay. So if I click publish here, and then if I click on this, I'm starting to get that effect of it just scrolling down to whatever I want it to scroll down to. So very slick, very, very slick. I like that a lot. However, I think this menu looks really amateur. So now we're going to use Elementor Pro to create a new header. So we're going to get our header to look like this beautiful one instead. All right, so I clicked publish, so I can X out of this, and I can actually just close this window because I have this other one here. All right, now we're going to go into Elementor, and this is something you can't do if you didn't get the Pro version. If you didn't get the Pro version, you just have to keep this style of menu. You can make a couple changes. I'll actually show you something you can do really quick. I think you should just get Pro, and people usually hate me for saying that because they don't like to spend money, but it's like, let's look at quality of product. I mean, how does that look compared to this? That right there is worth the 50 bucks. And then there's a lot of other stuff we did, like we created the form, we customized all these things, we're going to create this beautiful header, so it's just worth it. But anyway, so if you didn't want to do that, you could go to header, site identity, and here you could put in a different logo. You could tweak a couple things here, and then that would start showing things up. Like right here it says my marketing agency. I could say I don't want to display that, and so it gets rid of it. And then maybe I would want to select a logo. And I actually had a logo I already made. Let's see if I uploaded it. I didn't upload it. So here I'm going to upload it now. And where do we want to go? I want to go in here. You guys are seeing all my stuff. All right, so I created this logo, created it as a PNG file, and I like this one a lot. I'm going to, let's see, so I got this. I created this, actually how I created it, I'm going to do skip cropping. Boom, I got my logo there. Did I do that too quick? Here, I'll remove it. I'll say select logo. So I didn't have it here, so I clicked select files. I uploaded the logo I wanted, and then I just clicked on it, and then I hit select. And now it's going to ask me if I want to crop it, because it wants it to make it look like a logo size, how they think it should be. But I want my whole thing there. So I'm going to do skip cropping, and then boom, it should probably pop up my logo there. That's what it'll usually do. And so now you could have this. You could play with the logo width to make it a little smaller. And I could go ahead and just have that as my menu. That's not terrible. I don't like it, but it's not terrible. You know, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to do the site icon, which is the thing that pops up in your little tab. So let's take the same thing. We'll select that as our site icon, but I'm just going to make it this right here. And you see how this is showing you, if you look at the tab on the top, it'll look like this thing that we're uploading instead of just being a generic image. So I'll put that, I'm going to crop my image, and now up in my tab I'll have something that looks cool. So I could do that. You want to do this site icon thing, you're going to need to do that regardless, just because that's not something that you do through Elementor. So you could put that on, and now this is doable. We could do that. I'll click publish. But I'm going to show you how to make that beautiful header. It's going to be very easy. So I'll close out this window, going back here, and under Elementor, I'm going to go to Templates. I'm going to go to Theme Builder. You'll see we got nothing here. This is where we create all of our theme elements. Theme elements are like what our blog looks like, our header, our footer, sidebars, things like that. All right, pop-ups. We can do pop-ups with this. So I'm going to tell them I want to create a header. I'll click over here. And it'll say that there's no headers. So do I want to create my first one? Oh yeah. So let's click add a new header. And then I will put header for one-page agency site. You could just put header 1 or whatever you want to. I'm going to click Create Template. And then here's the beauty. Watch this. This is so cool. What I can do, because I have Pro, see how these say Pro, which means very restricted unless you have Pro. I can just select whatever one I like. So say I want to see this one. They already made this for me. So if I like how that looks with my menu here and my logo and a search bar, I could just click Insert. It'll throw it right on my page. That's not the one I wanted to use though. There's a different one that I wanted to use. So let me find it. These are all kind of cool. Oh wow, that one's kind of neat. I like that a lot. I have a little trouble selecting on that one. Okay, that's not the one I was going to use anyway. So where is the one I was going to use? Let me find that. Oh yeah, this one. This is the one I want to use. See that? We got the phone number, the email, the address. We've got our social icons. Have a call to action button in the top. I like this a lot. I want to use this, so I'm just going to click Insert and check this out. This is like magic. What it's doing right now is it's creating that for my page. So we're going to give it just a minute. And if this takes too long, I will time out. I'll just time this out and pause it and come back. But usually this only takes a few seconds. I, however, have about 60 browser windows open right now. But what we're going to do is you probably noticed that that one didn't look exactly like ours. So we're going to change out some colors, some logo, and we're going to do a couple other things. So let's see, do we have it yet? All right, here, let me pause, forcing it to do too many things right now, so it's struggling. Okay, so sometimes that'll happen, which is totally fine. I'm just going to reload my page. I'm actually kind of glad you guys are getting to see my errors, because then maybe you won't be so frustrated when you have your own errors come up. Okay, so let me click on there again. I'm going to try this one more time. Clicking on this, saying, yeah, I like it. So all I have to do is log into my Elementor account that I created when I got Pro, and then it'll hook me up. So I'm going to do this, and I might black out this part just so you guys aren't seeing my login information. Connect. And boom, I'm connected. Okay, so now this should be able to work. There we go. Okay, there we go. Thanks for sticking with me through that. So I like this menu. Here, I'm going to expand this so I can see what it'll look like. I like this menu, but it doesn't match my colors, and I think there's too much going on here. So I'm going to make this simpler. I'm going to get rid of this column. You'll see how we have 3 columns here. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to delete that. And that immediately gives me some more space. Now here, this is having all of this space and this has almost none. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to drag this over so my menu gets a lot more space. There we go. I like that. I don't need this. This isn't my company logo. So I'm going to click on Choose Image, and I'm going to put my logo there. Let's see. If I like that size, that's fine. I'll usually put this to full. If I like that size, that's fine. But I could also make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I think right about there is pretty good. Okay. I like how these look. They change color when I hover over them. That looks kind of nice. This color up here, I don't love this color because it doesn't match my website. So I'm going to click on the section. Let's see if I can do that. You know, sometimes because everything's overlapping, it's kind of hard to actually reach what you want to. So something you can do is you can right click, or is it right click? What am I trying to do? Yeah, I can right click over something. I'm going to go to Navigator. When I click on Navigator, this shows me the sections here, and I can actually just select them that way. So I can say that I want to select the header, and I'm going to edit the header. And see how it popped me right up here? Because it was kind of hard because of all these things bouncing here to actually get it. So I went to Navigator, I did a right click there, and I clicked on Edit Header. All right, so now I can change things. If we're doing color, that's a style element. So let me go over to Style. Give me a second here. Looks like I'm freezing up a little bit. I don't know exactly why that's happening. So I'm going to publish this, and then I am going to reload it. So let's publish, add condition. You need to tell Elementor where are we going to show this. And I'm just going to say entire site. Save and close. Okay. So now if I looked over here and I reload this, let's take a look at this. You're going to see that I have my new menu. See that? Now I have my new menu. Instead of that old one that looked like this, now I have this. Way more professional. Okay, but still it doesn't look exactly how I want it to. So I am going to reload this now. And I'm going to try to edit that header again. Usually this is pretty easy. Sometimes there's a couple little snags. So anyway, I'm there. I'm clicking over to Style. All right, now it's working. Usually if you have something freeze up like that, I just reload the page and I'm good. So I'm clicking here because I'm going to change the color. Click on the color. And then this is the main color I'm using for the site. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to use that one because I like that. And it looks like I got to change some of these other sections too. So let me make sure that I do that. Do I have that how I want it? Let me see. I'm going to check one more thing here. All right. Let's go back to that navigator. Make sure that I'm looking at everything I need to look at. And we're going to try to find out why all of that is purple. Maybe it was in the intersection. When you put in these templates, sometimes you have to play around and figure out what did we actually touch. Okay, so there it is. It was in the intersection. See this dark purple? That's the color they're using. So this whole thing with the multiple columns was an intersection. And I'm just going to click on that. And now I'll click on my color. Boom. Good. Good. That's exactly the color I want. I like that a lot. I think, though, when I look at this, I don't want all of these things. I don't want this search bar here. I don't need a search bar. So I'm going to right-click on that. I'm going to delete it. And then if I look at these little social icons, I would need to actually click here, and I would need to put in my links for my Twitter, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. If I don't want Twitter, for instance, I could click on that little icon, and maybe instead I wanted my Uber. Maybe instead I wanted to have my Vimeo, or I wanted to have my YouTube, or something like that. So let's see, maybe I want my YouTube instead. So I'll insert that. And now we have a YouTube icon. And I can just put my YouTube link there. Okay, so you can make it whatever you want it to be. And then did I change anything else here? I think I kind of like this how it is. Yeah, I like this just with those icons, having that. That's pretty good. I don't think I need to change anything necessarily. So what I do want to change is I could do things, I could do a bunch of little playful things like with this menu. You can do all kinds of stuff with the menu. Like I could have it so that when you hover over something, there's an underline that happens. I'll show you what that looks like, but I'm not going to do a whole lot with it. So we could say on hover, I could say that I want a pointer color. Hover just means if I'm holding my cursor over it. So maybe I want on normal, let's see, if I want hover, I want the text color to change to that blue that I really like. And then I want my pointer color to go to blue as well. And now, if I'm hovering over something, let me change this width. If I hover over something, now I start to have that underline. And I like that underline. I think that looks nice. I don't want it that thick though. Maybe just a thin one. Yeah, you see that? And here, if I go here, that's kind of nice and subtle. I like that a lot. I might make that just a little bit more. There, now it's just a little bit thicker. Now I have a pretty nice looking menu. And I could just leave it like that. Now what I did on this one is I went and I made sure the font matched what I had. So I'm going to switch that over. And then I think I'm just going to call it a day with this menu. Because we don't need to spend all day tweaking this. You could do that some other time if you want to. So if we're changing font, that's typography. So we're going to click on there. And right now it says Montserrat, which is a good font, but it's not what I want to use. I want to use Playfair. So let's do Playfair. We have Playfair display. Oh, now that looks nice. I want those to be a little bit bigger. Not so big that we're going on to a second line, just a little bigger. I'm actually going to give them a little more space here, which will allow me to make it even bigger. I think that's going to look really good. I think that looks really nice. So then we could just say that's going to be my menu. Now there's one other thing I did that was pretty cool with this one. See how this one sticks to the top and that little bar disappears? So let's do that. Now obviously this here, you would want to change out your email, your address. Maybe you don't even want your address there. If you click on this, you could go and click into any of these and just change out whatever you want. So that's up to you. If I don't want my address, I just click the X and there it's gone. Okay. Okay, so what was the last thing I was going to do here? Oh, I was going to make this sticky. That's what they call it. So I'm going to click on my intersection. Now I'm editing everything here. I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm going to go to Motion Effects. And then where it says Sticky, I'm going to say Top. I could also make it sticky on the bottom, which means it would hang out down here. But I'm going to do sticky on the top. And yeah, I want it to be sticky on desktop, tablet, and mobile. So I'll click Update. And then let's refresh this page. And you're going to see all of that stuff start to take place. Okay, so now it has the colors we want. And if I scroll down, here, let me see. I'm actually going to click here to go to Preview Changes. And I'll pop this out in a fresh window so I can really look at it. Okay, so it looks like this is sticking and the top is sticking. I don't like that. I don't want both of those. So that means that something here is making it stick. Let's go back into it. Now let's see if they also put sticky here. Yeah, they had sticky for that. So I'm going to go sticky none. Ah, and see that? Now see how it's disappearing? That's what I want. Click Update. Then I'm going to refresh this. See how that's working? That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. You could also put a bottom border on here. We could do some more things, but I don't want to get too crazy. All right, so I think that's pretty nice. Now we have everything that I want. Now you have a beautiful website. Now let's just test to make sure that this is scrolling wherever I want. If I click on Packages, takes them down to Packages. If I click on Testimonials, takes them there. Contact, takes them right there. Boom. Looks like you have a beautiful web page. All you have to do is customize it for your agency, and there you go. So what I'm going to do next, if you want to hang out for a little bit more, we're going to mobile optimize this website. It's not going to take that much longer, and it's going to make sure that everything looks just how we want it to. All right, so I'm going to get out of my header here. I'll just go to Dashboard. I like to keep my dashboard open, so I'll keep that there. And then on this, what I can do is I can click down here and I can select how I'm viewing it. Am I viewing it in mobile, as a tablet, as a desktop? So if I click mobile, then now we're looking at the mobile version of this website. And you can see this doesn't really look how I want it to. Everything looks really crunched up, and some of it looks okay, some of it looks funny. So let's just take the extra 10 minutes here and let's mobile optimize it, okay? So here, we're going to go in, and the header I think looks fine. I want to get rid of that sticky thing actually. So if I want to go back to that, I'll just go back to my theme builder, go back to my header. I'm going to edit with Elementor. Guys, you are doing so much work. You just sticking around this far, this is awesome. You're doing way more work than a lot of people ever would. So really, really good job. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm trying to find out why that one thing was sticking. I'm going to go on my navigator. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to say I want to edit this section. Now let's see if this was sticky. So I'm going to motion effects. Nope, that wasn't what was sticky. I'm going to go to this column, motion effects. Nope, that wasn't it. What about this intersection? Let's go to motion effects. That's not sticky. What about this one? Motion effects. That one is, which is what I want. All right, and maybe it was one of these columns was stuck as sticky. Let's see. No, I don't see that happening. So this is how you troubleshoot. So I'm kind of teaching you how to do this while I'm figuring out exactly what happened. So it says sticky none. So it shouldn't be sticking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it just be how it is for right now. But maybe later I'll go and I'll play with that a little bit more and see exactly what's going on there. Okay. All right. Okay, so anyway, we're going to mobile optimize this now. And what we're doing, oh, you know what it was? I bet it was that one little piece. Nope, I'm missing it. I'm not sure why it's like that. Okay, well, no worries. It still looks nice. Looks nice to have that up there. All right, and you'll notice that on the menu it changes to a hamburger icon, which will be a drop down. But it still works the same. If someone clicks that, it'll take them to services or whatever. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to fix all of these. And this is actually really easy to do. So we're going to click on each section. And remember, we went down to here and we changed responsive mode to mobile. So we're going to click on each section. We're going to go to advanced, and we're going to free the padding. So right now it's locked. I'm going to click this and it'll open it up, and boom, everything looks pretty normal now. I do want a little bit of space on top and bottom, so maybe I'll make it like, 5 on top, make that a 5 on the bottom. And then I think that looks a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom. Just give it a little more space. Cool. I like that. I think this looks way too big. So I'm going to click on this, go to Style, Typography, and now I can change it just for mobile. I can make it whatever size I want it to be for mobile. I think that looks pretty good. I have my spacer here, and I don't really think I need a spacer on mobile. So I can go to Advanced, I can go to Responsive down here, and I can just say, hey, why don't you hide that when we're on the phone? And then it takes it out. So I went to Responsive and I put Hide on Mobile. This I think looks too big, so I'm going to click on that. You can make this look however you want to. But I think for me, if I'm on a phone, that's plenty big enough. I don't know why I'd ever need it bigger than that. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. All right, now we're going to do essentially the same thing with each of these different sections. I had my lav mic fall off, so I'm fixing that right now. All right, so that looks good. I like how big that button is. I'm going to click on this section now. I'm going to go to padding. I'm going to release that. I don't know, that still looks pretty tight. So I'm going to go to each of the columns now. And I'm also going to release the padding on those. Okay, that looks good. This is a little too big. So let's see. I think that's the right size I want for that. For here, I think that's too big. I'm going to go here. Let's try 14. Yeah, that looks good. Got my big happy picture there. I like how that looks, so I'm not going to change that. All right, this looks scrunched too, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to click on the padding, release it. That looks pretty good. Make this a little smaller. So I click on it, go to Style, Typography. I know I'm going a little bit fast now, but you guys can watch this a couple times if you need to. I think that's plenty. I like how these look, so I'm going to leave those how they are. This looks scrunched, so again, click on the section, go to Advanced, release the padding, everything starts to look nice. I'm going to put a little bit more on the top, just because it makes that tilt effect still look good, so it's not cutting through. Well, it actually is cutting through a little bit. I don't know if I like that. So maybe I'll put a little more padding so this box is below our little angled line there. Let's try that out. How do we like that? Nice, nice, that looks good. Okay, so this is too big. And then once you find out what looks good for a heading, like here, I already looked here for this one, and I liked how big this is. I could just do the same thing on every one. So we did 37. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to make this 37. Typography, 37. Yep, that looks good. All right, this looks funny, so let's work on this. I'll click on that, and we have our whole image box. So I'm going to change the width, and I'm just changing it for mobile. It's going to stay exactly the same for desktop. All right, I think the font there looks too big, so I'm going to click on Content, and now I'm going to change the, see, so I did 24. I think that looks pretty good. For the description, I was doing 14 on some of my smaller text before. Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's see. So we did our, for our width, we did 66. I'm having to remember some numbers now. But for our width on the image, we did 66. For our title, we did 24. For our description, we did 14. So 66, 24, 14. I'm going to click on the next image box. Width, 66. Click on Open Content. Title, 24. Description, scroll down here. Size is 14. All right, I think this looks pretty good now. I like that. I want some more space on the bottom here, though. I don't like how little space I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this section again. And now I'm going to scroll down so I can look at it. I'm going to change the bottom padding. Oh, yeah, there we go. Beautiful. That looks beautiful. All right, this, I think that looks huge. Let's make that smaller. All right, so I went to the icon, and I'm playing with the icon size here. I think the icon can be pretty small, actually. Then I'm going to click on Content, because remember, this is an icon box. It says right here, icon box. So the icon, this heading, and this text is all part of the same thing. So then for the content, for the title, where it says Our Approach, what did we do before? We did 34 on that other one. I think that looks good. And for the text, I like how 14 has been. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, I think that's all good. Our service packages, again, this is all scrunchy. So we're going to go here. Going to remove the padding. Let's see how that looks. The line's going through it. So I'm going to fix that again just by adding some top padding. You see how that's opening up some space now? So I can see the line there. There we go. All right, now I had a spacer here. I'm going to actually make that spacer disappear on mobile. Remember, we go to Advanced, we go to Responsive, and we can decide if things are going to show up or not on mobile and tablet and everything. So we're going to get rid of that. Now let's see how this looks now. Our service packages, and it has the different packages. It highlights the professional. Yeah, I like that. I think that still looks really good. Okay, now what about this? This looks all scrunchy. Same thing. Click on the section, release the padding, and then we're going to change the top so we can see that cool tilt. See, this is just kind of doing the same thing over and over, right? That's too big. Change it to 34. This looks a little funny. Let's try to make this look better. So see content. And what are my options here? It looks like there's not that much I can do with this. It kind of just looks how it looks. But I can change the width. So maybe I'll change the width. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks good. You see how it has the little phone icon there? Anything that has this means you're adjusting it only for the platform you're looking at. So only for mobile, only for desktop, only for tablet, whatever. So here, when I make this change, I'm only making this for mobile. I'm not making it for desktop. If I want to make it for desktop, I would click there and I'd go to desktop instead. All right, so this looks nice. I think this looks good. We need some space on the bottom, right? So we can see that cool tilt. So let's change our bottom padding for the section. You guys are learning a lot right now. All right, and you know what else? That picture doesn't look like it's showing up as parallax. Let me just make sure that it is. No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to click here where it says size. I'm going to make it cover. And let's see if it actually does the parallax thing. Yeah, it might not be doing parallax right now. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. Okay, let's not worry about that. All right, this one looks all scrunchy. So again, click on the section, release the padding, and then I don't even know if we have to add extra top padding. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I might add just a little bit more on the top, give it a little space. I think the contact us looks pretty good, but I'm going to make it smaller again. I'm going to make it 34, just like our other headings. This contact form looks a little bit chunky now. It looks a little too big. Let's see if we can play with the size here. Yep. So here's how we're going to do it. We clicked on the form. We went to Style. I went to the Field section because what I want to change are these fields. Actually, do I want to change that? Do I want to change the form? Well, let's do this. I'll go to the field. I'm going to change the typography, and I'm going to play with the size. Let's see if that changes anything for me. Yeah, that's letting me play with that a little bit, so I have that a little bit better of a size. And then maybe I'll play with my line height a little bit. See how when I played with that, I was able to make everything a little smaller. I like that more. I think that looks really nice. Okay, so let's keep that there. I think that's a nice looking contact form. The button is a little bit big, so maybe I could go to button and I could say on the typography, I'm going to make that a little smaller. Let's make that 22. Okay, that looks pretty good. You know what? I don't like how cramped the bottom of this is. So I'm going to go back to my section. I'm going to add a little padding at the bottom. There, that looks nice. That's really nice. Okay. The only other thing I'd like to do here, let's do this. I went back, I'm going to click on this form. Let's do something fun with this button. When you hover over the button, I want it to grow. So I went to button, hover, animation, and I clicked on grow. Now it's going to do that. We did that in other places on the page. All right, this looks pretty good down here. You know all I'm going to change? I'm just going to change a couple things. I think that looks too big. So I'll click on that, style, we'll click on text, typography, just like we always do. Let's try 22. It's a little too big. There, I went down to 17 and I like that. I think the icons look too big now, so I'm going to click on icon. I'm going to play with the size until I have it where I want it. I like that. If I look at my social icons here, I like to have those in the center. So I clicked on those. I'm going to change the alignment. I think that looks nice. This looks good. I'm actually going to make this text center as well though. So I clicked on it. I went to Style, Alignment, Center. That map looks great. And boom. Now, doesn't this look different? Doesn't this look a lot different? Now it looks really nice on mobile. It looks really nice on desktop. And then if we wanted to take more time, we could also do it on the tablet. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I think we have a pretty darn good looking website. What do you guys think? So this is all yours. This is all yours now. You can do whatever you want to with it. If you want a link to some of the assets I had here, some of these images, I might throw a Google Drive link into the actual description. And then also, what else am I going to do here for you? You know what I might do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link to another video where I'm actually going to just export this as a template. And then you could just take this template and you could just import it if you want to into your website. And I'll create another video about how to do that. But then I might do that just in case you got to the end here and you still don't love how it looks or there were some things you didn't get. I'll just do that and then you can go and you can just import it and then customize it a little bit and it'll be pre-made for you. So I think I might do that. We'll see. But I kind of like making you guys work because now you spent probably, it's been 2 hours or so. I got to look at what the time is. But you spent 2 hours or so with me. You know how to build a website. We got a domain. We got website hosting. We got Elementor Pro. And you built a custom menu. You built this entire gorgeous website. This thing looks so good. You built this. It's all there for you. You just customize it how you want to. And now if a client ever says, hey, can you rebuild my website? You know how to build a website. Do you have any idea how much money you can make doing that? So really good work, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with it the whole time. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends. If you got this far, you are a warrior, and I'm really proud of you for getting this far and doing your website. And then just share this with other people who need it, because I think it's going to help them out a lot. All right, so this is Joseph, my digital marketing journey, and I can't wait to talk to you on the next video.